1 second, please. People like the setup, though. Shout out. Y'all getting sound now?
Any sound now?
Does anybody get sound now? Check. Sound still not working. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We there. I got it. All right, well, let me start this back over. Mike check 1-212-82HH live. We are in the building. Mike D on this side, Coop on the right side of me. Man, how you doing today, brother?
Blessed. Tired. Photo shoot today.
Mm-hmm.
I got with Sade, the artist, today. She's got a dope single that's going to be dropping soon. We're going to be bringing her by to interview her soon.
Nice.
Doing a little bit of A&R work for her, Mike. I don't know if the A&R really exists. I'm doing a little A&R work for Sade. We was playing her track and going through some stuff and talking about some behind-the-scenes things that Sade is going to be helping me out with personally.
Well, that's dope.
Yeah.
See, Coop's out here moving and shaking, getting his media game on, getting his A&R on.
Yeah.
And,
Daughter's on the other side of the wall on TikTok.
Yeah, getting his parental on, you know what I'm saying? We here to talk about some hip-hop today, too. Obviously, we're going to give, like, our little predictions for Game 3. But some of the things that we are talking about today, man, we're talking about the fact that Killer Mike finally got a feature from Andre 3000 on his upcoming record. Yeah, finally. It hasn't happened in 20-something years. Wow. We're also going to be talking about Nicki has given us a release date for her upcoming album. And we want to have a legacy conversation about Nicki. Also want to have a legacy conversation about the Fugees. They reunited on stage at the Roots Fest, or Roots Picnic, excuse me. But first things first, you know how we like to do when we first start the show off. Any predictions for Game 3 of this NBA Finals that we were going to be seeing in the next couple of hours?
I mean, first of all, you understand the Heat's best player isn't playing that well, and this series is tied 1-1. So that's very much in their favor.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've been to Miami. You've been to South Beach before.
I've been to some Heat games. I actually went to I think it was the last home game before the finals when the Heat lost to the Spurs, the Big Three. So yeah. Okay. That building's electric. And I went to the game when they actually won. That was the game they won the Eastern Conference Finals, and they were going to the finals, and Miami was lit.
Well, I don't know how the arena is, Mike, but I know what South Beach look like, and I know that outside of Atlanta, the most dangerous place to be as a ball player before a game, South Beach, Miami.
They got some real deal fans, though.
Worse than LA?
They got some real deal fans, though.
No, we all know what the real deal is with Miami, though.
I got some friends that grew up in Miami, and they are super Heat fans. They love D-Wade to death. This is before the Big Three. So they got real deal fans out there. They're one of those markets that it's kind of like an OKC. I know we don't really look at.
It's not like an OKC.
But no, in the fact that they're not really an old team. Like, they were an expansion team in the early 90s, so they know what it's like not to have a team, and they really appreciate the fact that they have a team. They got a team. I think they were like the quickest turnaround for winning a championship from an expansion team that I can remember in my lifetime, because they won fairly quickly after they, became a team. And they got really great fans for it. I will give them that.
Yeah, I would say that's a fairly quick turnaround. When did they become a team?
I want to say 89? It was like something like that.
Yeah, them and the Hornets.
Yep.
The Hornets and the Heat at the same time. So that was 89, 90.
Mm-hmm.
I remember because my family had the Charlotte Coliseum cups that first went on sale, obviously. The back end, the Charlotte Hornets offered my granddad $1 million for his back acre of land, because where we're at on West Boulevard, it's close enough to the old arena. They were going to build a parking deck on the family land on the back. So, but I remember they came up to my granddad's house and gave him some of the cups.
Wow.
So I remember the Heat were part of that. So that was 89, 90. They won a championship in 06. So that's 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's an impressive turnaround.
That's impressive.
And you know what? I've always
Hornets
said,
ain't been no damn where.
I've always said, man, I think that, and I love the Atlanta Hawks, but I think that Atlanta may need to take our team away from us, or the league needs to take Atlanta's team away from us and get it back so we can appreciate it more. We don't know in Atlanta what it's like not to have a team. We take our teams for granted. There are big cities who don't have teams like that.
It's not that we take our teams for granted. It's that the things that the city has to offer just go beyond sports, Mike.
I just think when the Hawks were playing so well and they won 60-something games, it would still be empty in the arena.
I don't know. I was at those games.
Yeah, I was too. Because I'm like, what's the problem? We winning. Like, it was that stretch when Buddinghoser was our coach, and we had, like, lost one game in, like, a 2-month period. It was something crazy. Still didn't have fans coming out there.
Because we knew what was going to happen when we played LeBron.
Well, that's true. All right, Andrew Green with the super chat here. You know what? I'm going to get these super chats a little closer. He says, on a remix convo from last show, what do y'all think about Nas? Yeah, where are they now remixes, the 80s, West Coast, etc. Most people hate hip-hop is dead, but Nas showed OGs a lot of love on those songs. You know what? When we were talking about remixes, I was thinking about that. Those remixes were dope. They were kind of like
didn't King T get on one of them? I remember.
They were kind of like legacy type of things. I mean, it wasn't the most memorable per se, but it was showing love. And I think that there could be more of that in hip hop too.
Right.
Jay Short with the super chat. Oh man, I got to figure out a better way to do these. All right, Jay Short says, happy hump day, fellas. It is that time for Andre versus Big Boi features battle. Outkast songs excluded, of course.
Ooh.
I like that idea.
Ooh.
I like that idea. I think the Big Boi's feature game is understated, but I would have to put a caveat in there and say, if we're going to use Andre and Big Boi features, we have to use records that neither one of them were on with each other, if that makes sense.
No, I'm okay with using the records that have them together on it, because I'll give you an example. Everybody knows my dear friend Andrew, who I do the Mirror Music 99 podcast with. We just did Sweet Home Alabama and AT Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I think Big Boi has the better verse on AT Aliens. Big Boi's first verse is better than Andre's verse.
My oral illustration be like tutorial stimulation to the female gender.
Yeah, but Big Boi's, but I'm cooler than a polar bear's toenails. Oh, hell, there he go again, talking that shit, Ben.
Well, you know what?
A curve. I struck a nerve, and now you about to see that Southern player serve. I heard it's not where you from, but where you pay rent. Then I heard that it's not what you make, but how much you spent. You got me bent like elbows.
Amongst other things, but I'm not worried. I think Big Boi.
See what I'm saying? How Big Boi be snapping and we just skip over it? We know who wrote the hook. And so I'm totally okay with putting Big Boi right next to Andre, even on a feature thing. Because here was the thing that I was stressing. Not to Andrew, because Andrew knows it because he's a big music lover and an Outkast fan and has been doing this podcast thing with me and follows According to Hip Hop. Man, this talk that Andre is somewhere over here and Big Boi is over there, like I'm on a personal mission to make it stop. Like the way that I want to educate people about Fire's disease and mental health, it's like, no, vote for Big Boi right next to Andre. Because there's not that separation. If one guy's 12 on your list, the other guy's like 18.
Well, you know where that conversation comes from, where it starts from.
It's Ray and Ghost. It's Kissing Styles.
Well, that conversation kind of starts from New York. And we're about to talk about Andre. And I know that I want to get this, though, before we jump into that. Who you got tonight?
Give me Denver.
You got Denver tonight. I got Miami tonight. Miami's going home.
Back and forth series.
Okay.
I think each team's going to win. Back and forth.
Okay, they think they're going to grab one at home. Okay. All right. Well, since we're talking about Andre, and I want to answer what you were just talking about with the whole separation between Big Boi and Andre, I've always said that separation starts at Speaker Box Love Below because of the effort musically that Andre put in the Love Below in relation to the possible effort that Big Boi put in the Speaker Box. Speaker Box very feature heavy. Andre is showcasing himself. But that rap part of it, I really feel like that kind of starts in New York. And I hate to pull in this whole New York thing. I think the East Coast quote unquote bias in journalism and hip hop favors Dre more because he sounds stylistically more like them. And we're seeing that with this Billboard list too. 8 Ball and MJG just got shitted on in this list, in my personal opinion. And I see a correlation between Southern acts that have Southern slang and take on their Southern roots in relation to their counterparts that take on more of an East Coast centric style. Am I tripping?
I want to circle back around to the whole Andre thing with the whole New York thing, because Andre sounds succinctly Southern.
Yes.
In a way that you and I don't.
Yeah.
But he don't sound Southern like Big Boi, do he?
Or Pimp C.
Or Big Gip.
No. Or Cujo.
Or 8 Ball.
Yeah.
Definitely
Or MJG. Yeah.
Right. And so there is our two greatest MCs sound Southern. Our two greatest Southern MCs sound Southern, but they don't sound succinctly Southern, and that's Scarface and Andre.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that they're lauded and applauded in New York.
What about Tip and Wayne? What do you think about them
Tip and
in
Wayne
the conversation?
country, though. I mean, Tip got a twang.
Yeah.
Wayne's just got a different voice, period.
Yeah.
His voice is just period different.
Louisiana's just a whole different place.
Right.
Because everybody over there has way different voices.
I told you, it's a pigeon.
Yeah.
Not the bird. Look up what a pigeon is. P-I-D-G-I-N, a pigeon. It's a succinct form of dialect. Nothing describes a pigeon like New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And the melting pot, the gumbo pot that it is of just styles, culture, races, ethnicities, just all of that. So, yes. So there is something to be said for that. Think about it. It's like Scarface, Cool G Rap records, Nas records, J records.
Mm-hmm.
Andre pretty much kind of like the same thing for his era. Go listen to them vocally. You can tell that they're from down here, but it's not as identifiable. Like, how about this? When the Source was rating Soul Food and giving it its review, which was improperly rated, which, you know, is a whole nother conversation, they ended the article by saying, and the country accents are cool too. They didn't say.
I don't remember that. That's crazy.
Yeah, you don't remember that? Go look that up.
I'm going to look that up. That's crazy.
So it's almost like, it was kind of like one of those things where it was like, are they saying that in a positive way?
It's like British accents to Americans.
It's right. It's like, yeah, it's like the New Yorker kind of like judging the Southern accent from afar. Like, yeah, the accents are cool too. Yeah. Like it's almost like, damn, we were surprised these country ass niggas could rap this well.
Mm-hmm.
They don't treat Andre like that. They don't treat Face that way.
Yeah. I mean, because people correlate Southern slang and Southern accents to stupidity, right? And so I think that's probably where that was coming from in that Goody Mob review. Because they were speaking to some intellectuals with Southern accents. Right. They weren't used to that.
Well, let's go to Nas on Get Down. Southern niggas ain't slow. Nigga tried to play me. I left from around them dudes. They cool, but they crazy.
Mad Max with the super chat says, got love for Cardi, but dissing the Princess Lady Spice in Summer Jam is a wonk. This is why Spice sides with Nicki. I think this Ice Spice I think Cardi went out there and said she wasn't dissing her. Now, what did she say, though? Dame with the super chat says, do y'all hold entendres high? I feel like when used correctly, it could be fire. But other times it seems like a reach. It doesn't really connect. This is what I think about entendres, and we'll get back on subject. But
we're back on literary devices.
Yeah,
again.
My thing with entendres is, yes, for certain artists, they can be a reach, right? And I think with certain MCs, people like the privileged rappers. If y'all look at our previous episode, y'all know who I feel like are privileged rappers. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. But for some of them, people will reach for them. But if somebody like 2 Chainz does a double entendre, it just goes over people's heads. So I think that double entendres can be overrated because people aren't consistent with who they actually analyze that part of their lyrical abilities with.
I've been on this show saying this for roughly the past year. Somebody's really going to have to explain to me how Jay-Z's operating on an entendre level that Method Man's not operating on. That every time Jay drops entendres, people literally dissect it like it is some sort of institution, like it's a class that gets taught in some sort of Ivy League university. Method Man does this shit more regularly than Jay now, and nobody says a word.
I want to clarify, though, Jay-Z was not on my privileged rappers list. I want to invite to the brunch. So
we're not going to no damn brunch. First of all, you want to know what I realized something? I'm not even really a brunch person, okay? And what are they serving at the brunch? I mean, is it like salmon croquettes? I mean, we getting like lamb lollipops. Is there like escargot? Like what? Little ahi tuna, some sashimi, some edamame. I mean, what are we doing?
Well,
some blistered shishitos. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing for the brunch exactly?
Well,
what type of champagne and bubbly are we putting in the mimosas? Like, is it
I've never had Ace of Spades.
Ace of Spades is overrated as a champagne. Take it for somebody that's had it.
I've never had it, and we got ad space here. So if somebody wants to, put an Ace of Spades here.
After I get done shitting on some of these champagne companies, it's not going to be them. Ace of Spades isn't that good. The bottle's just pretty. Shame on all of y'all for following Jay.
What do y'all think out there?
Y'all
like Ace of Spades and Cristal?
Cristal and Ace of Spades is not good champagne.
I've
Real
had
champagne's ready
Cristal.
to tell you that.
I've had Cristal. Doesn't really do anything for my palate. All right, but Killer Mike. Killer Mike announced that he has a feature from Andre 3000 on his new album. And Killer Mike is dropping his first solo album in, 12, 13 years, something like that?
At least 10.
At least 10.
No, hold on. Didn't
I think rap music was the
2013.
same. It was 2012, I think. I think it was the same year as Life is Good, I
12
believe.
or 13. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been about a 10, 11.
And he announced that he has an Andre 3000 feature. And then he was saying that Andre was reluctant to get on the record because he said it sounded like a typical rap record. And when he said that, I thought about Jay Short and how Jay Short makes it a point, and he's right about this, to say that people like Andre consistently kind of shit on rap in a way where it's like there's levels to it and rap isn't good enough for him anymore. But anyway, that's the quote from Killer where he said, Dre said that it was a typical rap record. And then he heard the person that was singing the hook on it. And then Dre said, okay, I'm down to get on the record or down to put it out. And it made me think that I don't think he's ever gotten an Andre verse before.
Let's pause right quick.
It's a lot there, yeah.
What the hell would Andre 3000 know about making a typical rap record that makes him the judgment bearer of that?
Well, yeah, he's never made a rap song.
No, I'm not joking. He's
right.
one half of Outkast, and he doesn't have any solo material. Who the hell is he to talk about anybody making a typical rap song? You got to start looking at things fundamentally for what they are, because when we talk about him, well, really, our critique of him is that, well, not only do you not make rap songs, but we don't even know if you can make typical rap songs.
What is a typical rap song?
Right.
And yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about it from that vantage point. I'm sitting there thinking about the fact that he finally got a verse. But yeah, Dre.
Damn all that. Damn your verse.
What is a typical rap song? Is he talking about like?
Who are you in the canon of this hip hop lexicon to sit up there and audit the circumstances of Killer Mike shit like that? We don't know if you can make a typical rap song.
Well, it's true because Killer Mike does actually have a catalog of music where he's made rap songs by himself. Right. And when that man sends you a record, you say it's a typical rap song as if you have a plethora of individual typical rap songs
when you have none.
To your name.
When you have none. Because even what Outkast does, in part of why they are our best genre-bleeding hip-hop group. They don't do typical hip-hop.
Right.
So what would you know about a typical rap record?
Well,
like, what does he know about getting on the mic and busting that shit open for 3 verses and a hook? That's what I look at when I say a typical rap record.
You know, I think...
What does he know?
This is my personal opinion, right? And I remember when Killer Mike dropped Monster. And I know that the Dungeon family, as a whole, they were kind of in their experimental funk phase. And I couldn't help but think he was being done a disservice from a production standpoint based on where the crew was at the time. Killer Mike signs to these guys in 98, 97. He has a whole different album that might fit better with what he does. So to sit there and say typical rap song, you want him to fit into what you do, and that might not be what's best for him as an artist.
But this is what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's go. Mike, Rosa Parks isn't a typical rap song. Elevators, not a typical rap song. ATLiens, not a typical rap song. Bombs Over Baghdad is the poster child for what is a atypical rap song.
Right.
Miss Jackson, So Fresh, So Clean. Their whole hit structure is making the antithesis to a typical rap song. What does this guy know about it? You see how you can elevate somebody so high that you miss the bullshit they say? Like, he's so elevated that it's like this is literally passing over people's head. It's like, that guy don't know how to make a typical rap song because he ain't never made one by himself or within the framework of his group. The closest thing they got to a typical rap song is Spaghetti Junction or Ain't No Thing.
And those are great records.
Or Benz or a Beamer.
Benz or a Beamer is a great record.
Right.
And it kind of gives you a window into the fact that he didn't want to make any more Benz or a Beamer. He don't want to make any more Hootie Hoos for y'all.
Yeah. The typical rap records that they made is some of their best stuff, and it didn't get done.
What is Screwed on the Barbie do?
That's not a typical rap record.
Okay.
Old school players to new school fools. Cass got you jumping like kangaroos. We skew it on the Barbie. We ain't trying to lose. How it go? They say, I be goddamn it. What? They done changed the rules.
Yeah.
He's even telling you in the hook that it's not typical.
I don't know what the definition of a typical rap song is, but this is what I will say. I think
he's a great MC. It's just like the genius rhetoric surrounding him. It's like, no. We need some rap songs. So you don't need to be talking to Killer Mike like you're some sort of rap genius. We don't know if you can make a typical rap song. Period. As an artist.
What is Mamacita?
Like I said, we don't know if him, as an artist, can make a typical rap song. Where's his typical rap song? Because when I think typical rap song, I'm like,
it's Keep It Thorough, a typical rap song. Like, let's do
I
that.
thought of Keep It Thorough.
Okay.
Keep It Thorough was the first thing that I thought of. I was like, because it ain't even got no hook. It ain't even nothing really special going on. It's just P hitting the mic and getting busy the way P get busy. If somebody in this chat put in A Day of the Life of Andre Benjamin, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Well, see, this is the problem, right?
If I hear somebody say that record one more time, you know why everybody say that record? Because this is the only record we got.
Yeah.
Literally.
Because if we actually had real records, they wouldn't even think about that record.
But all I'm
It's
saying
not
is,
even it's a song, but you know what I mean.
So Andre, it's a typical rap song. I was like, what would you know about that? It's like I look at The World Is Yours as a typical rap song. Dead Presidents is a typical rap song.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with those
Exactly.
songs? What's wrong with Juicy?
Yeah. What's wrong with Juicy? What's wrong with One More Chance?
Yeah. What's wrong with those
What's
records?
wrong with Who Shot You?
Right.
As a song, that is. We know what's wrong with it otherwise. But
Very problematic what it is.
Leroy Green with the $20 super chat showing love. He says, Coop, I got invited into a live last month for a surprise pull-up. When I got on, it was Big Git. He said Andre told him he's done everything as a rapper and feels there's nowhere else to go artistically. I'm just saying. Well, I'm just saying that's false. He could say whatever he wants to, but that's not true.
Look here.
You haven't done everything as a rapper. You haven't. He's the only you haven't even done a single song with you and 3 verses and a hook. What you mean you've done everything? What you mean?
Like, I really do admire the way that the Dungeon family, specifically like Gip and
They're
Big
incredible
Boi,
brothers.
They're incredible brothers at protecting this brother. But I'm sorry, he says stuff like this, and it's just such a turnoff. It is. It's like, I would prefer, how about this? If you don't want to rap, stop talking about it too.
Stop allowing us to talk about it. You know, I would like if Dre said, you know what, man, don't put me in your top whatever. I don't even make songs. I'm in a group. If you want to put Outkast top, cool. But me as an individual, I ain't got the work that Nas got. I ain't got the work that Rakim got. I ain't got the work KRS got. I know.
I keep trying to tell you, these quote unquote woke guys, no, they got egos. They like the attention. They like the women, just like the other guys.
They're men, just like the rest of us.
They're men. So all this, Andre don't like the attention. That's a damn lie.
Well, if that were the case, he wouldn't be in the overall uniform whenever he goes out to be seen.
He literally wears stuff to be seen, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing
It's a
here?
uniform.
So let's cut the whole humility, starving artist, not interested in hip-hop act.
And that's cool. You're a star.
I'm
it
going
is
to just
what
start
it is.
calling a spade a spade. You don't have what it takes as a solo MC and rap artist.
How could we say otherwise?
No, there is nothing else to go off of. That's what your career is. You don't have what it takes. Stop talking like you do.
LP with the super chat says, man can only tell us what a typical flute song is. Allegedly.
See the shade? You see
I
the
still
shade?
haven't, look, man, I mean, I see him with the flute, but have you heard him play the flute? No.
I mean, I hope he's getting good at it. He's spending so much time doing it.
And we say this respectfully as fans.
I'm not saying this
of
respectfully.
Cass.
I'm saying it right back the way that he kind of pitched it. It's like he kind of kicked it out arrogant. I'm going to kind of kick it back to him arrogant. You don't know how to make a rap song, my dude.
A typical rap song at that.
No, we don't know if he knows how to make a rap song by himself.
This is who I was waiting to hear from. Jay Short with the super chat says, Marvin and Stevie didn't want to make typical R&B. They fought Motown and innovated. Curtis Mayfield didn't want to make typical R&B. He left the impressions, but rappers can't innovate?
What has he done that's innovative? What rap songs y'all talking about that Andre got that's innovative? What am I missing here?
We're giving him Outkast's catalog.
Right. Why are people... Okay, so let's stop having an Andre conversation. Oh, you talking about the stuff Outkast did?
Exactly.
That's not Andre.
What do you think this Killer Mike song is going to sound like?
To be honest with you, Mike, I'm not even super excited about it.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not super excited either. I'm excited for us to talk about it.
Because here's what
that's not going to save the year or something, you know?
Here's what it is when he pulls up like he's been pulling up for the last 20 years with this verse shit. It's like, oh, Andre did a great verse. It's like, okay, show me something I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, so you know, and this is what I mean about how like the thing can get elevated to the point of it being faulty. It's like all everybody's talking about now is the fact that, well, you know, Andre's guest verse, you know, this is the first guest verse since the great verse on Donda, and it's like, oh, stop it. It's like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like somebody like Method Man does this shit weekly, and nobody says anything.
Yeah.
You're literally bringing up a verse from Donda for 2 years ago to elevate this man. It's like there was a verse from 2 years ago, and don't nobody remember it, and it wasn't that good, Mike. It was just okay.
There was a time period where
it was just okay too.
You did say that.
It was just the content and the subject matter that he was using. The verse wasn't all that.
There was a time period, and maybe it's because I've gotten older or whatever, but there was a time period when Dre dropped something, I knew that verse front to back because it was great. You just mentioned, you know, Sleepy Brown's Can't Wait. Both of them were on that, but I remember when he got on there, I was like, oh, yeah, this is that. Same thing with International Players Anthem. Same thing with Royal Flush. Great verse. I don't feel that way anymore.
You want to know why? Because this is all he.
This stuff ain't as great as that stuff. That's just the bottom line. But people will have you thinking there was never really a drop off with him, even with the features.
Let me submit something to you. What if I told you this guy is a one-trick pony? And we all keep falling from the same trick, and that's why I'm not interested anymore. I'm not interested in your little one verse every 2 year trick anymore. Keep your verse. I'm not interested in it anymore. You've been doing it for 20 years. You want to excite me as somebody who loves you and is a fan of your shit? Make a typical rap song. Because I know that you know how to do this. That's what I mean. It's like people don't even understand the past that they're giving this man right now by letting him do this and lauding every
and
time
say
he
these
comes
things.
It's like, oh, he has a great verse. He had 2 years to write it, Mike.
Is West Savannah a typical rap song?
Mike, if you give me 2 years to write a verse, I can go spit with him.
Well, he also has that curve. That curve that people are grading him on because of his legacy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 2 years to write a verse, Mike. When we did our cypher verse, I wrote that verse in 45 minutes. I left it alone, and then I started practicing.
Jay Short with the super chat says,
"Nigga be having 2 years to write a verse. Everybody be like, Andre got a great verse. It's like, I know he better have a great verse. We haven't heard him rap in 19 months."
Jay Short with the super chat says, as much as I joke about Run the Jewels, if Andre didn't want a typical rap, why did he jump on one with those Run the Jewels records? Yeah, Killer Mike tried to innovate at least.
Hold on.
And that's true.
Hold on. Why he ain't on Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper since he want to be so innovative?
You're right. I mean, and Jay Short's right too. Mike H says that's fair, Coop. But yeah, Jay Short is completely right. Run the Jewels doesn't make typical rap records. That's why a lot of hip hop audiences really don't fuck with what they're doing. He had all the time in the world to jump on any of those 3 albums. If you want to be innovative, yeah, hold
on. Yeah. If you want to innovate, and since you're so creative and you're such a genius, why don't you be the one making the innovative song instead of having to piggyback off of somebody else's creative genius for 20 years to do your verse? This is what he did in Outkast. This is what I mean about him being a one-trick pony. You've been listening to me talk for years about how Big Boi held it down. What's the first 2 singles on ATLiens again? Elevators, ATLiens. How the hook go?
Yeah, Big Boi hooks. Me and you, your mom and your cousin too.
Every day I sit while my nigga be in school,
thinking about the second album at the Dungeon Shooting Pool.
His whole career has been built off spinning off of other people's ideas, and it's time that he gets called out for it.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I never really thought about it in those ways.
He creatively, his well is shallow. He's been in Big Boi's well, and he goes to artists for features to get into their well. He don't have a well. Well, so stop talking like you're that dude. Oh, this is a typical rap song. Nigga, show that you can rap typically, consistently, on your shit, with your creative ideas.
Yeah.
I know what Big Boi's creative genius looks like. It's all over Outkast shit and his shit. We still don't know where his creative... This is what I'm saying. He gives you flashes. Here's what I mean flashes. 2 Dope Boys, Wheels of Steel, Aquemini. What's the other one? The song Aquemini? Skewing on the Barbie. No, he gives you flashes, but we don't know if you consistent. And it just looks like you piggyback on the creativity of your right-hand man and of the artist whose songs that you cherry pick because they applaud you.
And you can sit here and choose what songs and what songs to not get involved with. You heard that So Fresh So Clean story? Yes. Where Organized Noise was saying, well, for the people out there who haven't heard it, Organized Noise said, you know, they made So Fresh So Clean. And Andre told them that he wasn't going to get on it until they put a bass line on it. Similar to this Killer Mike story, right? So Big Boi and Sleepy Brown, they done put So Fresh, So Clean together. He's sitting here cherry picking whether he's going to jump on the song or not. They put a bass line in it, and he puts his part in there. That's why on these Outkast albums, you have these songs that he's not on. He's not on Decatur's song. He's not on West Savannah. He's not on Slump. He's not on Love These Hoes. That's on Stankonia. He takes time. He cherry picks. Big Boi's on every song.
I told you, his creative well is shallow. He uses Big Boi and other artists to fill up his cup.
Yeah.
You don't know what his cup look like, but it don't runneth over with great verses thought from the inner soul of him. That what it don't do.
T Nitty with the super chat
He's great
says,
at rapping over Big Boi's hooks, though, Mike. You heard the verse on Elevators? He's great piggybacking off of Big Boi.
and you know what? He shows up when Big Boi's in the building too, just like with song I was just talking about, Royal Flush. Yeah, he shows up when Big Boi's in the building.
Big Boi's creative well.
Yeah.
Splendid oasis.
T Nitty with the super chat says, Cass without Dre is Big Boi's solo career. Message. Andrew Green with the super chat says, glad Coop brought up meth. He gets penalized on the list but for subpar solo works. But 3,000 is heralded without any solo works. Doesn't make any sense. Within the group of constraints, these talents are comparable. And that they're not comparable because Method Man actually has Bring the Pain. He actually has I'll Be There For You. But you're right. He gets penalized for what Takal wasn't.
Hold on, and we're going to move on after this. You mean Method Man has a typical rap love song and a typical rap hardcore record?
Exactly. Jay Short with the super chat says, uncomfortable question is typical rap code for something else, or should we take him at face value? Yeah, what does typical rap mean? I don't know. All right, we'll leave it there.
It's very problematic that he said typical rap song.
Yeah. But anyway, Nicki Minaj has announced that she is dropping her solo effort.
Yes.
Well, not solo
I think
effort.
the new
She's
thing,
been solo.
I mean, I think the new thing to do is to take 3 months to do your rollout now, like it's 1999, like literally like it's 1999.
Like it's 1999. She's dropping her first solo album in 5 years in October. Now, it's kind of hit with a lot of mixed reviews because I feel like
they saying cut up my mic, guys, to match Mike D's level, or is that just my voice not being as high as Mike's?
yeah, my shit carries.
Right,
man.
I'm about to say Mike's voice travels, guys. So
yeah, I got in trouble in school just for talking regular, man.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll project a little bit more for everybody so that I can match some of Mike D's microphone intensity.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, she's dropping her first album in 5 years. The announcement's kind of hit with mixed reviews because we know Nicki obviously doesn't play nice. And I wrote this dissertation back in 2018 when she released Queen.
I remember.
That she was done, right? And so I'm looking forward to what she's about to drop, even though she's been dropping singles pretty much since 2018 and none of it's really connected. But my question and what we got into this big debate about earlier in the studio before you got here, Coop, what's Nicki's legacy look like? And yeah, I'm gonna ask you that, and then I'll say my piece. Like on an all-time list, all-time female list, what does her legacy look like?
See, I see everybody in this chat now trying to use Outkast's resume to tell Andre job well done. No, that's Outkast job well done.
Mm-hmm.
Andre's job ain't done. Big Boi's job is done.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, what y'all not about to do is pull up on this show and give this nigga a pass on us. He not.
Yeah, that's like giving Five Tribes catalog.
Yeah. Big Boi's job is done. Andre's job ain't done.
Mm-hmm.
Stop talking like it is. His job ain't done. We don't know creatively who he is, so his job's not done. We know who creatively Big Boi is. His job is done.
Mm-hmm.
So stop saying that, for one. That's absurd. Like, y'all know what the catalog look like and don't look like. Because then one man got a catalog, the other man don't. Big Boi got just as many dope features. It's like, really? Okay, we're going to get back to the Nicki.
I got to start. Okay, what's Nicki's legacy look like?
I mean, this is about to have another piggyback conversation. What is Nicki without Kim? That's always what I go to when I talk about Nicki. And that's my thing with Nicki. So it's look like we about to have a creative juices conversation today because it's like the juice that she got ain't even hers. That ain't her juice in her cup. She ain't squeezed that.
So I came in here.
That's a little Kim cup. That's a little Kim cup, Mike.
It's true. And the image-wise and everything.
She's drinking out of a little Kim cup. So it's like when you're asking me what her legacy is, it's like I don't know what it is, but it's somewhere under Kim. Like I've been saying.
I don't
rap-wise, stature-wise.
I don't even think it's that. And it's funny because, like I said, when I came in here earlier and I was talking to DJ Paperboy, he was on the set, and I love getting his perspective as a DJ because he's been around actually DJing in hip-hop spots and, you know, being in places where other DJs are. He said he doesn't believe that Nicki should rank too high on the hip hop list because all of her big records are pop records. And she doesn't really have a hip hop foundation like that. We started going through the songs. I was going through different playlists, and all of her quote unquote hip hop records either are features or, you know what I'm saying, or her songs that have Drake and Wayne on it. You know what I'm saying? And so
the Young Money run.
Exactly. So going through those playlists, I'm like, yeah, she really doesn't have a true blue, you know, No Time, Crush on You. If we're talking about Kim, or if we're talking about Foxy, Get You Home Tonight, I'll Be. And she doesn't really have those go-to hip-hop records. She can rap, obviously, and it really reminds me of the Marshall conversation in that sense, because we're talking about skill set up against records. She made a choice to make pop records. And I think that's kind of why she's going through this slump now, because the pop well has ran dry. The pop world has moved on. Now she's trying to come back to hip-hop. None of her rap records are connecting.
She may have allowed herself to be appropriated a little bit too much.
Mm-hmm. She didn't balance it.
She appropriated herself out, is what I'm saying. As in, she gave her all to the pop culture establishment.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even say that it's white. Let's just call it the pop culture establishment.
Yeah.
She gave her energy and her prime to that.
Yep.
She's coming back now. It's like when a brother move out the hood and then he don't never like come back and see people, but then things fall apart, and where he find himself at.
Yeah.
Back in the neighborhood. So she's back in the neighborhood again. But Mike, this is what I'm saying. This is what I mean. Like, this is why I always be in the neighborhood. People be like, Coop, you live in Cobb. Like, why you be on the south side and be on the east side? Because it's like, I don't want to forget. I don't want to lose touch. When you forget us and you lose touch, you can't come back. This is not about to be. This ain't no welcome home.
It reminds me of the second verse of Ice Cube's "Truth to the Game." Yeah. You know what I mean? Like on MTV, but they don't care. They'll have a new nigga next year.
Right.
No more black fans and no more soul. Like it's that. Her story is that. I know a lot of people don't like to really peg her with that because she's Nicki. And let's just keep it real. She's a female MC. We've never really seen that happen to female MCs
We've never
before.
seen a female MC be able to transfer into the pop stratosphere like she has.
I think Missy did a little bit of it, but Missy's a writer, you know what I mean, and an all-around creative. She's a different hybrid.
She's a different
She's
type
a
of
singer,
hybrid.
all that, yeah.
Missy at her core is a writer, a songwriter.
Exactly.
So that's different. When you're a songwriter, that transcends and translates everywhere across the board. That's why Babyface can write Take a Bow for Madonna.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's different. This Nicki thing, I mean, let's be honest with it. A lot of it's about her beauty. It is.
Yeah.
A lot of it's about her skin tone. A lot of it is about the dollish way and the way that she dresses herself up. A lot of the things that make her who she is. But they're not rooted in rap, Mike, and that's what I keep saying. It's like, oh, no. Lil' Kim shit, that's some rap shit that it's rooted in.
We just had a typical rap song conversation. Give me the typical rap song that Nicki has that carries her into the higher echelon of hip-hop artists.
And this is what I mean, is that every time you ask me that question, the fact that I have to go back to Your Love off of Pink Friday.
After listening to that today, that's kind of a pop record too.
It is, but that's the closest that she got, and that ain't enough.
It ain't.
It ain't.
I mean, because we were talking about this album, right? When Kanye did his little pop thing before 808s and Heartbreaks, he made Stronger, but he was able to balance it out with Can't Tell Me Nothing, right? You know what I mean? Like when you have a pop crossover song like Stronger, you have a Can't Tell Me Nothing. Nicki never did that. She's going to do Starships. She's going to do Super Bass. Ain't no balance.
Yeah.
And for her to be held high on the hip-hop, she made her choice. She wanted to make pop records, and she did that.
And I think this is what's really biting her, too, because it's not even just the pop thing. Oh, you had an attitude while you did all this.
Right. You had an attitude like we owed you something. And not we. The females in hip-hop owed you something.
You had an attitude while you did it.
And let's keep it real. Cardi came in 2018 and made better rap records than she did, regardless if Cardi writes her shit or not.
Bodak Yellow's better than anything that Nicki's ever done. Period.
It hits harder and everything.
Period. And Bodak Yellow's just better. It is. It's better than any song Nicki's ever done.
If you were DJing tonight and somebody was paying you to DJ at a hip-hop spot, you're going to play Bodak Yellow over any solo Nicki record. You just are.
Easy money.
Yeah.
They still playing Bodak Yellow.
Yeah.
And they should be.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
Leroy Green with the super chat says, just playing devil's advocate for a second. If you come in the game spitting lyrical bars, at what point is it okay to cross over and rock in the world of, and rock in that world if you have the skills to do so? Again, I think from what I just said about the Kanye thing, you can rock in that world, but give us a record to balance it out. LL Cool J, when he gave us Going Back to Cali, balanced it out with another record. I've heard Russell say this before.
I mean,
Russell Simmons said he made sure whenever LL made a big record, they had a B-side record that was for the hip-hop streets.
I mean,
that's all you asked for.
Can I interest you in these guys named Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls?
Exactly. I mean, if she's like that.
If you like that,
Yeah.
then let it be like that. It's the same. This is what I'm saying. We about to have a creative conversation because it's like, no, y'all talking about Nicki and Dre like they somebody that they not, Mike. They not that.
But people act like Lil' Kim didn't make no matter what people say. That was a pop crossover record.
So how many licks?
Yeah, it sure is. And she was still able to show you that,
she'll
you know
still
what?
do Put Your
I
Lighters
can come
Up.
back. Exactly. 36 Chambers with the $20 super chat showing love. She says, shouldn't we be applauding artists that expand the reach of hip-hop? Non-typical rap, though. The thing we say Andre and Nicki haven't done have actually expanded and evolved the genre overall, right? Isn't that positive? I think what Outkast has done has expanded. I don't really think that what Nicki has done has expanded hip-hop as a genre. She is kind of just doing what other pop artists have done.
Before you expand, you take care of home, Mike.
What's the difference?
Why are people not missing? Before you expand, you take care of home. You talking about people that ain't took care of home.
What's the difference between Fergie's London Bridges and Super Bass? Ain't no fucking innovation there. You're doing something that other white artists have already done. You're just black. Let's keep it real. Ain't nothing different between London Bridges and Super Bass. How is that innovative?
You make a
Because Nicki did it?
You make a very valid point.
I'm just saying. You ain't got the records, you ain't got the records. Now, as far as the Andre innovation thing, that goes to Outkast. I don't think that goes to Andre as an individual.
We don't know who Andre is as a creative solo artist.
Yeah.
Not a rap one.
Jay Short with the super chat says, I think because the commercial hip-hop market is so dry right now, Nicki has a chance to come back. Radio needs a real hit from stars, and that hip-hop market is dry, right? I think the industry's moved on from Nicki. We got Ice Spice out here. We got Corey LeRae out here. Cardi's probably going to come back with something, whether it be a feature. And let's keep it all the way a buck. And, you know, Paperboy said this too. Megan's better than Nicki. Megan actually raps. She actually makes rap records.
Lotto.
Yeah. I mean, Lotto's catalog is short right now. But with the mixtapes
she raps.
Yeah. And the Tina Snow projects and stuff like that, like Megan actually could probably beat Nicki in a rap versus.
The Nicki thing is fascinating me from this perspective because it's like, let's go back to our core black focal points in music again, Mike, for our era. When Thriller come out?
82.
When did Dangerous come out?
That was 92. No, it was 91.
Now, in 9 years, Michael Jackson went from selling 40 million records to about 4. And y'all think Nicki about to come back and blow the spot? Get the fuck out of here with that dumb shit. You see what I'm saying about people just say dumb stuff, Mike, and it don't make no sense?
But the thing
that don't make no sense, Mike.
Queen didn't do well, and she's been releasing singles ever since. Like, she never really stopped. Y'all still listening to Super Freaky Girl or whatever? Like, come on, man.
We just got to keep it a buck. In 9 years, Michael Jackson went from 40 million to 4 because time. No. Let's say decline sometimes it's just time. And it's been time.
This is what I'll say in Michael Jackson's instance. He just wasn't as in tune with what was going on as he was in 82.
You can't be.
You can't.
He's not. People forget, like Michael Jackson on Off the Wall is going out to the club.
Yeah.
Making Thriller and Off the Wall.
Yeah.
He's on the scene. Him and Quincy know what the music sound like.
Yep.
Bad's a little bit further away, and missed the mark a little bit because here's the thing: when Bad's getting made, oh no, that's when things start to change. Bobby Brown, My Prerogative, New Jack Swing, Keith Sweat, Teddy Rock. It's starting to hit a little bit different.
Hip hop.
He's not as in touch.
You know what he told Quincy in the Bad Sessions? He told Quincy that this rap thing was a phase, just like disco. And as he would think that, because he lived through the disco thing. He saw disco come in and out. Quincy tried to tell him this thing was here to stay.
Right.
But Michael wasn't in tune enough to even be forward thinking enough to see hip hop where it was.
Like the records that are on Dangerous should be on Bad.
Straight up.
Jam, Jam should be nothing against Hev, but Jam should be like with Rakim in '87. Right. So he missed it because, well, when you reach a stature, when you reach a status and you get so big, well, it's hard to keep those courtside seats and to see that street view.
Well, I mean, when you're Michael Jackson and you're able to, you go to a Laker game and they have to stop the game because people are going crazy, you really can't go anywhere.
You can't go to a Laker.
You can't do anything.
That's what I'm saying. So if that happened to him, y'all think Nicki the one that's about to come back and crush shit? People are so absurd and unrealistic, Mike.
Well, all right. I think that we're just going to have to look and see what these singles bring about. But I think from all time, and we'll move on to the next single because it's kind of our new music segment. Where do you think Nicki fits in all-time list of female MCs all time?
I mean, for me, she's not in my top 5, but it would be hard to keep her objectively out of a top 5 due to contributions. But
what are her contributions?
But she's not in my top 5, though, Mike.
After these conversations today, I find it even hard to put her past Foxy. Because, again, she operated in a mainstream that was empty. Like, she was winning BET Awards, and they didn't have her up against anybody. Because at the time, even though Rhapsody was putting out albums and stuff, Rhapsody wasn't in the mainstream. They weren't giving her any kind of push.
Mike, how about this? Don't Lauryn Hill still have more actual rap songs than
Possible.
fucking Nicki?
That's possible.
You see what the problem is with
That's
what
a
I
problem.
just said?
That's
I know
possible.
we can just transition to Lauryn after this. I want you to think about this. I'm going to say this again. I'm pretty certain Lauryn may have more full-fledged rap songs still than Nicki. And people don't see anything wrong with that. I'm sick of giving these people who don't work a pass, and I ain't about to let people pull up to According to Hip Hop and give Andre no working ass a pass, Nicki no rap song making ass a have. Neither one of them can't make a typical quote unquote rap song to save their life, Mike, because we ain't seen them do it.
Well, you know what? Mad Max is in the building.
You do what you can. You do what you can do.
I want to see what Mad Max has to say.
You don't say, oh, I can do this, so I'm just going to avoid it. Michael Jordan didn't say, well, I can hit this 3-point shot in this 15-footer, so I'm going to stop dunking the basketball and laying the ball up.
You're right. You can't criticize something in your genre and in your space that you haven't even accomplished. It's crazy. Mad Max of the Super Chat says, I see girls play and use Red Ruby, the sleep skiing every day. And Cardi, the Cardi disrespect, she is only in rap tunes, and it is a feature to a hijack. I don't know what Mad Max is saying here. I think he's talking about the Ruby Red record is jamming, I guess. And he's
Mad Max don't know what he's talking about.
Mad Max said, you got to cut the slang so much, man. The shorthand. Jay Short says, Devil's Advocate. People thought MC Lyte was done after Lil' Kim, and she managed to have a few hits and features in '97 using Kim's formula with Missy.
I see what he's saying. He said Cardi and Nicki disrespect. She only rap in tune when it's a feature to hijack. He's talking about she only raps that way when she's hijacking a feature is what Mad Max
Who, Cardi?
Yeah.
Okay. Melvin Wright with the Super Chat says, did you guys review the Ransom album? If so, what was it rated? The bars are insane on there. Ransom, stay consistent. We got to talk about Ransom maybe Friday. That's the music show. But yeah, as far as that competition, and we'll move on after this, but it's hard to even put her above people like even the Brat, Foxy. Well, what do you think about that comparison with the Brat and Nicki? Like, is Nicki even better than the Brat, really?
No, she was never better than the Brat. But this is what I'm saying is like you understand that she can be a legend, but everything that we're saying can be true. It can be both of those things. People I don't know where we started living in this world where things can't be like mutually exclusive and everything just had to be in this box and everything to be in that box. Is she a legend? Yes. Does her rap song catalog suck? Yes. Next.
Is she top 5? And we'll move on.
Lauryn, Lyte, Latifah, Kim, Foxy. Next.
Okay. All right. Gunna dropped his new single this past Friday. We didn't get a chance to speak about it then, but what did you think about the single?
I didn't love it.
I didn't love it either. I didn't love the tone.
Me neither. I definitely don't.
The energy.
The energy feels bad. The energy is defensive. Let's just call it what it is. The energy is defensive about all the rhetoric that's going on. I mean, he's definitely not a beloved figure in this city right now. He's definitely feeling that he's not a beloved figure in this city right now.
Yeah.
This is one of the situations where the rubber meet the road, Mike, where it's like, people start looking at their finances dwindling and start making business decisions that affect, things, and everybody knows what's going on down here. But really, at the end of the day, I heard a song that wasn't well produced.
We're going to get to that. You know what? my thing was, after hearing it, it's like, why did you even put this out? Is this more of a confessional thing?
I just told you, Mike, finances. Finances.
Okay.
Like, you got to, people, I don't think, how long Gunna been around?
Gunna's been around for at least 2017-ish.
Right. That's only 6 years, Mike. That's not a long time.
Yeah.
Like, people think that this rap money is bigger than what it is. And like, he's probably one of the earners and one of the money getters in this thing, too. Oh, but when you live in a lifestyle like he's living, and you got to
gotta work,
sit, and then the fees, and oh yeah,
and then not getting the show money, because that's probably gotten a little slow too. So you got to get something new out there. I mean, I think,
and also
I think you go for the club banger at this point.
And the tonality is bad because the video's apparently getting shot in Cali and Hollywood. So it's like, oh, so you can't come to the A, so you going Hollywood on us? It's like, that don't look right. The city is not about to eat that.
You spoke about the production part of it. What are your thoughts on that?
I think he's in trouble without Metro and Wheezy. Mike, he's not one of these guys that we go to for bar work.
Yeah.
We go to him for the drip too hard.
I think what this is showing, a lot of the artists in this generation are, I don't want to say getting carried by producers, but yeah, production is a big part of why they have the wave that they have. And if you remove that production, what do you have? Like you said, we don't come to him for the bar work, but I don't know what this next project's going to sound like without Wheezy out of here.
Me neither. And he's not, and this is what I mean, is like, well, he's not Future. And even Future need Metro. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I told you, March Madness, like Future's performance is there. That beat is absurd, Mike. Production matters.
How many artists in this generation don't need a crazy ass producer to be dope? Because I feel like just about everybody does.
There's something to be said for today's artists and what they lack in content and substance as writers. It actually forces the production to be better.
What made me, and I thought about this, and we talked about this offline, we always talk about J. Cole's shortcomings when it comes to his production.
Yep, I knew you were about
but
to
his legacy honestly should be inflated by the fact that he's like the only person of his era that still gets heralded that doesn't have superstar production everywhere he goes. That just shows you how strong J. Cole is as an individual artist.
Hey, I mean, when I criticize Kendrick and criticize Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, when I'm saying the album isn't no good, Mike, I've said repeatedly the main reason that the album isn't any good is the production's
You
not
didn't like
good.
the production?
Mike, them beats ain't no good.
You ain't like the N95 beat?
Mike, them beats ain't no good.
Silent Hill.
Them beats ain't no good.
What about the Alchemist joint?
That beat ain't no good for Alchemist. Shame on him.
I could have heard West Side on it.
But
What do y'all
Kendrick
think
not
is
West Side. They're boom, 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 boom. No, they were no.
Kendrick needs a Griselda feature. He needs to get on a Griselda record, but he's not going
He need to get on a beat that sound like Brutus or George Bondo is what he need to do. Them beats is terrible.
He needs a typical rap song.
Very problematic.
That's going to be the title of this episode. Typical rap song. Yeah. But yes.
Need some help.
I think that inflates.
Give these niggas some beats.
But yes, Gunna needs some beats. I think this is a big opportunity.
All these new niggas need beats except
They
Cole.
do, except for Cole. I think this is a big opportunity for an up-and-coming producer to actually work with Gunna.
No, because when I think about it, Mike, think about it. What is Kendrick without a dope beat? Backseat Freestyle's a dope beat. Money Trees is a dope beat.
Yep.
Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe's a dope beat.
Yep.
Good Kid, Mad City, the song, that's a dope-ass beat.
Yeah, Mad City, dope beat.
Mad City's a great beat.
Yeah.
Compton, great beat. Real, great beat. These Walls, Mortal Man. These are great beats.
What you think about the All Right beat?
The All Right beat's all right.
It's all right. As I was thinking,
the All Right beat's all right.
The production on Damn, I thought was probably
DNA?
Yeah, DNA's crazy.
DNA crazy.
I remember when I first heard DNA, me and Ronve was talking about it. Ronve hit me and was like, yo, DNA is crazy.
You want to know what it reminded me of?
Feel. It's crazy.
Feel is crazy. But
Element.
beat-wise, when I heard DNA, you know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
Remember when Crucial Conflict did Hey?
Yep.
And you had never heard nothing like that beat-wise before? Boom, 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 boom. That's what I heard when I heard DNA. I was like, that feels like Hey all over again. Like in terms of just like the shockwave to your ears about the production. It's like, yeah, he's had great beats.
Yeah.
Except on this last album. See what happened?
I will say this is probably
What's the best beat on the Kendrick album, Mike?
I think Silent Hill or N95. I like the N95's beat.
Mike,
That shit was crazy.
That's the best beat. That's the best beat, Mike. I rest my case.
N95 had to start the album
Beats
off.
ain't no good.
And I think they tried to start it out like they did DNA. You know what I'm saying? I mean, damn, with DNA. And I think that's what N95 was. But there was a big drop.
They failed miserably if that was the goal.
I didn't like that beat from I know the Kendrick fans are going to go crazy because we just skipped from Gunna to Kendrick. But I didn't like that beat, the Big Steppers, that song. You know what I'm talking about? That was like, won't. Yeah. Anyway, Leroy Green.
I don't know what you're talking about because I don't listen to it because them beats wasn't no good and them concepts was broken, and I don't want to go to your therapy session. I can go to my own therapy session. I told you, he the one that really started all this mental. It might be my personal life, but he the one that started these mental health issue things for me because I'm like, oh, you want to talk about some mental health issues? Let me show you how to talk about some mental health issues, nigga, because the way you just did it ain't it.
Leroy Green.
Keep on saying it. Don't nobody want to hear you talk about that, man.
Leroy Green with the super chat says, Coop, I got a new artist for you to A&R, me, but I don't make typical rap songs.
hey, look here. We're taking them all under the according to hip hop umbrella, Leroy. Come on down. You're the next contestant.
Typical rap song. Yo, Gunna, you might want to get a typical club banger right now. That's what I'm going to say.
I wonder if Andre saw our freestyle. It's like, do you like this typical cypher we did over this typical rap beat?
Andre doesn't listen to rap music.
Who really the hater? You see what I'm saying? Who's really the hater, me or him?
That is kind of some hater shit when somebody said, you're artist, because Killer Mike and him go back. Like, it ain't no, like some random dude. It's Killer Mike. You send him a record, he said, man, it sounds like a typical rap song, man.
All I'm saying is,
really? Come on, man.
All I'm saying is, as a man that has an ego and is known to be a little bit cocky sometimes, Mike, I can know it when I see it. I know exactly what that was. It's like, oh, you think this guy humble, don't you? I bet y'all think he humble because he in Japan playing a flute.
That might have been his way of saying the song's whack.
How would he know what a whack song is, Mike? How would he know? What the fuck song you been recording lately that we should be?
What's in the future for Gunna?
Mike, he ain't made a classic song since She Lives in My Lap.
What year's that? In my personal opinion, that's his best record. And when you were talking about him as a creative,
that's him.
That's the record I would point to. If you ask me, like,
that
what is Andre as an artist, as a creative, as an individual, I would go She Lives in My Lap.
Yeah. And what year was that?
I mean, that's 03, and it's not even a rap song.
Then he need to say less and do more.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Need to say less and do more is what he need to do. Typical rap song.
So what does the future look like for Gunna? If you're A&R and Gunna right now, what advice would you give, and what's it look like?
I mean, the up and coming producer is, who stands the most to gain in this situation.
Right.
But I mean, Mike, I was trying to think. I was like, who has been in the situation, in the position that he's in right now? Like with all of this controversy surrounding and being labeled a rat. You know what I'm saying?
T.I. slightly. After all that stuff happened in Paper Trail. Because it's funny, I was just listening to Ain't I? And when he kind of
I was listening to Ain't I too.
Mm-hmm. He kind of addressed that, and he was like, we gone about a year, Paper Trail and all this. And he was talking about, did he snitch? No, indeed. Mm-hmm. And all that stuff. So he's kind of been through it, but it wasn't no recording. This is slightly different. This is like audio that everybody heard.
I mean, and I don't want to, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there was an informant in Tip's camp, but it wasn't Tip.
Yeah, see, I've heard all the stuff, but again, I think there's a lot of speculation, but this one, people have heard.
That's why I'm saying is like,
this is different.
Well, no, ain't no speculation with the Tip thing. Like I had people like come to me, it's like, no, that nigga over there is snitching. Mm. So, and that wasn't Tip. That was somebody in the circle that was snitching. Mike, you went to school with a lot of them niggas, right? So the snitching part of it is the problem, but this is what I mean about the street credo and rap. You see what it's doing to him as an artist? Because now it's
changing his mood.
It's changing his mood. It's changing his move. It's changing his behavior, and all of it don't look or feel right.
Yeah. And I mean, the artists that people actually bought into or feel and who they jam out to, he's not that anymore, and he's lost it mentally.
It might be a rap, Mike.
So as an A&R, you would tell him that? What are you gonna tell him? Go get out in the club, get back into your groove. Like, what do you tell him?
Okay, this is what I'm saying. Okay, so where can I take him in this rap scene where it's safe for him?
This is a challenging job. I mean, they give you $100K. Like, go make Gunna a success.
Okay, like where we going though? We can't go to Houston Can't go to Atlanta, Memphis,
You
L.A.
You got to
Long
find
Beach,
a new
Compton.
producer.
Right. Where we going?
Yeah.
Where can we pull up and it not be a problem is what I'm saying. This is rap, Mike. Like did you see the video that's circulating about when they tried to play Gunna shit in the club down here?
Yeah. It cleared out.
Dudes literally stopped what they was doing in unison.
I don't think we ever seen anything like this.
It looked like the scene from Malcolm X, Mike, where he made everybody turn and go. That's what happened in the club. It's like Gunna came on and everybody was like, looked at it, everybody like, you better not move. You better not move.
What? I'm going to say this so we can wrap this topic up, but man, it's difficult. It really is. Like no one's really been in this situation before.
No, see, TD said something. It's like the only thing that's going to make this okay is running the check the thug.
Well, I was going to say dope music because we've seen, with other entertainers.
The streets don't care about
the same. Yeah.
The streets ain't trying to hear that, Mike.
Yeah,
you better run that check the thug and apologize.
We got Dominican 1923 in the building. Says Hurricane G, the Puerto Rican queen, could out rap Nicki. I'll never forget Redman on Tonight's the Night. Hurricane G packed the gas, son. Rest in peace, Hurricane G. I love Hurricane G.
Yeah.
Hurricane G was that.
A lot of dope females MC out there. Remember Boss?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of dope female MCs get left out of the shuffle. So you basically saying it's over for Gunna.
Who gonna say? I'm not saying it's over. I'm saying who about to go save him right now? Like
it's gonna have to be an up and coming producer.
How about this? You know what he could really use right now? All jokes aside, he needs some Teflon. As in, he needs some Suge, some Jay Prince, some Jermaine Dupri, some Diddy. Like he needs somebody who in this atmosphere is so gigantic that it tones some of this down.
Right.
Somebody that can be like, hey, I got him. Calm down. And ain't nothing but a few guys that could do that.
Well.
And that's what he really needs. So it's like, and here's the thing, that's what I mean. Well, most of them dudes are street dudes. So they looking at him too.
They're
like,
they're not.
Like, you think Jay Prince gonna come pick him up?
Nah, they're not getting involved.
You think Suge about to get out, come pick him up?
Suge's not about to get out anyway, but yeah, I feel what you're saying. All right.
I was just using Suge as an example because of what he did with Pac. Somebody getting out of jail, come to the day,
right, get
behind him. That's what I need. He needs somebody with some real power, some real force, get behind him. Like, I mean, not being funny, Mike. I mean, Pierre QC, the ball is tomorrow. Somebody like them getting behind him, but they not about to get behind him.
No. Jay Short with the super chat said, no joke, but do you call Drake to help Gunna? Drake's fans don't care about street credibility. Now, Drake can definitely help Gunna.
First of all, Drake fans different in case you hadn't noticed, everybody.
Yeah.
Drake got a fan. Drake's fan base rivals Eminem's, and it's probably the only one that truly does.
I agree with that.
So stop using Drake like that's some sort of barometer or measuring stick. It's not.
Drake doesn't want to be pulled into that. He doesn't need to. But yeah, anyway, let's talk about we got the Hip Hop 50 event this coming Saturday. Shout out to them. What's up?
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Hip Hop 50 event this coming Saturday with the National Black Arts Festival. They're putting on Hip Hop 50, celebrating hip hop's 50 years. We're going to be out here representing, you know what I'm saying? We got our trivia game that's going to be out there as well. A lot of interactive things to do, for the family. Got a whole bunch of, they're going to celebrate all the years of hip hop, right? So it's going to be like places you can go where you can experience each decade of it. So it's going to be real dope. But yeah, that's going to be out here in Atlanta from 8 to 10. So yeah, we're going to be promoting that as well. And the week after that, we got the Juneteenth event.
Yeah. Come out and see us June 17th from 1 to 5, 1959 Metropolitan Ave, the Metro Fund Center. The show's coming along nicely. I'm actually going to be going down to the space in the next couple days so we can do a walkthrough, but everything's looking good.
We got the flyer in the community section.
Good. Pull up at the door. Pull up to the compound tonight. Fred is hosting the Wednesday class that's free. I've actually started personally kicking it out to some of my people. I'm like, hey, take your ass to this Wednesday class. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I mean, people, I be around people, and like we're in our 40s now. People are like, oh, Coop, you looking good. I'm like, oh, take your ass to FDL Wednesday for free.
Get that workout in.
Get that workout in. It's free. Look here. This is what I mean about dedication. Pebble's birthday party was last night. Mike, when I woke up today on Instagram, this motherfucker was already at FDL working out. I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
That's that dedication. That's what you got to do. John Phillips with the super chat says, y'all remember Smooth? She was the shit. I ain't heard that name in a minute. And rest in peace to MC Trouble, too, man. We don't talk about MC Trouble enough.
My cousin's in the chat. What up, Six?
Mad Max.
Mario Barnett. That's my cousin. That's Six.
Shout out to Six. Mad Max with the super chat says, Gunna done. That's what he get for leaving the sidewalk. Well, from one situation like that to the other, did you hear that the Fugees reunited on stage?
You want to know it? I just kind of caught it. First of all, I just caught it on the Humble on the gram, and I seen like a piece of it. It was when they were doing Ready or Not. At the Roots picnic, yeah, they showed the scene where Lauren started doing the intro to Ready or Not, and Wyclef started rapping his verse.
Prize came out there, and a lot of people. Well, it is what it is. Prize is going to be away for a long time. He was already, he's just waiting to be sentenced at this point. So this may have been the last time people will see the Fugees on stage together for a long time.
Oh, there ain't no might be. You just saw them perform together for the last time. I hope it was enjoyable for you.
And it made me think, and we were just talking about the Fugees, I feel like, on Monday's show when we were talking about Black Star and their legacy and how inactivity can affect your legacy moving forward. Billboard has a group list out here, and we're going to speak to some of those things in a second. They've done 50 through 31. We haven't seen the Fugees yet. They're probably going to have the Fugees very low, or at least in the 20s or something. Where do you think the Fugees are all time, and what does the Fugees' legacy in hip-hop look like?
They're not high.
We're talking about a lot of non-traditional rap groups now.
Their legacy's not that strong. Six is going to hate all this. He loved The Score. He spent the summer of 1996 playing The Score.
I love The Score, too.
Muddy Waters and ATLians is all I heard. Muddy Waters, ATLians, and The Score. You want to know what else, too? I just realized this, and he put me onto this, too, and this is just quick sidebar. Mike, I've been listening to Camp Lo's Uptown Saturday Night.
Awesome record.
That album is so ahead of his time.
It is.
Like, this is around the time Six was, like, running around playing 3-6 Mafia all the time and playing Tear the Club Up. And then one day I hopped in the car, and he was playing Camp Lo. I was like, what the fuck is this? And
I love those guys.
He's like, these dudes are different, man.
They are.
And this shit is great.
They are.
Yeah. I've been playing Cooley High all week.
I love Cooley High.
Cooley High is beautiful.
Incredible.
It's incredible.
Incredible.
You know
record.
what? Sonny Chiba and Geechee Suede, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their flow patterns are ahead of their time.
Carolina Blue Kicks, hottest nigga on the block.
Right.
Used to Willie bicycle since I was 6.
Yeah.
High school, crossover wave. Oh, that's Jay. Never mind.
Right.
Anyway.
Biting. Straight took their flow. Like the way that Geechee slides sometimes.
Shit crazy.
Shit crazy.
He has a great rap voice that no one talks about
he has
either.
An epic rap voice,
It's
Mike.
just crazy.
You know what? Him and Lord Have Mercy have those rap voices that we should talk more about. We just didn't get enough material out of them.
Nah, for real. But yes, you were talking about the Fugees' legacy and where they rank all time.
Oh, it's easy to just riff, Mike. They don't have much of a legacy outside of The Score.
We talk about Black Star, and Billboard put Black Star at 49. I think the Black Star, based on having 2 albums, they have to be over the Fugees, because what they do have over the Fugees, right, even if they just did have that one album, they have one dope album, whereas the Fugees have one bad album and one great album.
Now, we also have to be fair about parsing this out. When we include our Fugees talk, a lot of people do take the Carnival and the Miseducation into account. What say you about accounting
Well, then
those?
do we account for Talib and Mos Def's albums then?
Hell no.
When we're talking Black Star, then that's not fair.
Okay.
And I think that
even with Wyclef, with
the Carnival will be more.
The Carnival feels Fuji-ish.
Yeah, the Carnival gets more of an argument, right?
I think
because it's the refugee camps. It's kind of like their version of Puff Daddy and the Family.
This is Six once again coming through. The Carnival from end to end might be better than The Score, Mike.
I've always said
like
that.
On some rap shit.
I've always said
because The Score's not really a rap album, and I keep on stressing that. It's like you got some rap songs on The Score, like, and you heard them, Ready or Not and Fuji La, and how many mics.
Now we want to talk about a hip hop album. Yes, we want to talk about a hip hop album that wasn't making traditional rap songs. That's the Carnival. The Carnival gave us everything from calypso to reggae to hip hop, R&B, all on one album.
Pras and John Forte snitching on themselves on Staying Alive like some dumbasses.
Disco, if you want to count that. And then you got Lauren rapping her ass off on that album. So yeah, the Carnival's incredible.
Her ass off, Mike.
AB Studios with the super chat says,
Talking about some Nicki. Have you heard these Lauren verses? You better stop that.
AB Studios says, Gunna's top collaborators and producers, not messing with him no more. The new song he put out, people quickly will forget. That's tough. He better pray hard for Thug.
I mean, he's
only person that could save him really is Thug. I agree with that.
He's the fun guy down here, though. Not to be funny, like he's the one that kind of brings you into this wavy world of women, models, drugs, and guns, and the Atlanta night scene and nightlife. And now he like, niggas hating on me. Well, they hating on you because you snitched, and it looked like you snitched. Like, what are we talking about?
Not look here? Like they heard the audio of
I'm trying to give the man the benefit of the doubt,
yeah.
You know,
T Nitty with the super chat says Jay stole Camp Lowe's.
You won't catch me doing. You know.
T Nitty said Jay stole Camp Lowe's beats and flows among others.
That's what I'm saying. Feeling it. Yeah, that's
Feeling is their record.
Can you imagine feeling it on Uptown Saturday Night?
Exactly. It should have been. I actually like, and I'm not just saying this because I love Reasonable Doubt. Never been a huge Feeling It fan. I like their version of Feeling It better than I like Jay's version.
Well, it was meant for them. So
I mean, and Ski is on there rapping too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that one better.
It was meant for them.
Yeah. Jay Short with the super chat says, ain't nobody going to be in that 2010 hip hop section. Get your refreshments there. Shorter line. Let's see what else we got here. Hold on. T Nitty. All right, yeah. John Green says, does Nicki have a rap song as big as Queen Pen's Party Ain't a Party?
It's asking
we don't
questions.
Talk about Queen
Hold on.
Pen.
Does she have a guest verse bigger than No Diggity by Queen Pen?
It's true.
Well, no, what song has Nicki been on that's bigger than No Diggity? Like in the lexicon of black music.
People gonna say Monster or something. This is what Nicki needs to do.
Monster ain't no damn No Diggity. What's wrong with people?
After I had this conversation with Paperboy,
that's one of Dre's better beats.
Think so?
I love No Diggity.
I like Toss It Up from Pop. Pause.
Boom, boom.
Toss It Up is one of the most creative diss records ever. I think Toss It Up is one of the most creative diss records ever. When you got Pac dissing Dre over the No Diggity loop and have Aaron Hall on the record too, who was a member of God with Teddy Riley, that's deep. Anyway.
It's very disrespectful.
It's crazy.
Very disrespectful.
It's really crazy. It took me a long time to really figure all that out. I'm like, nigga, that's crazy.
Hey, real talk though, I love Pac's flow on Toss It Up.
I love Toss It Up.
Yeah,
Toss It Up is hard.
Yeah.
People don't like Toss It Up. I think Toss It Up's brilliant.
You know, Toss It Up's a little bit ahead of its time because it's really like he took what you used to do on a rap remix and he made that the song.
Exactly.
He's like, no, we ain't remixing this. Aaron and KC about to sing. Like, right.
We'll get back to the Fugees legacy in a second, but I will say this because I was with the Paperboy conversation I had. I'm thinking Nicki really does need to do a versus to really show us what her rap repertoire looks like. And if she does a versus with, let's just say Kim, if they're able to make that happen, if Swiss and Tim are able to actually make that happen, we're going to really see if the stuff that we're saying is inaccurate or accurate. There's two people who don't want to do a versus, man. That's Nicki and Eminem. They don't want to do that. It will expose a lot of things.
A versus with Lil' Kim, she's going to lose 15-5.
I don't even know if she could beat Foxy, man. After analyzing what we analyzed today, I don't think she could beat Foxy.
You know how I feel about Fox?
Because Foxy come out there with some I shot you type of shit like,
it's over.
It's
over.
What we got? But anyway, Fugees.
I'm leaving.
I don't know if Fugees are even top 30 hip-hop group all time.
A best case scenario for them would be in the 25 to 30 range, in my opinion. Too many. We having a conversation about people doing work again like this. A workers conversation. We talking about Andre. We talking about Lauren. Talking about Nicki.
Regardless of
these niggas that don't be rapping.
And we're having a typical rap conversation too.
Well, we supposed to have a typical conversation every week. That's why people be like, you're hating on them. It's like, well, if they would do some typical rap shit, maybe we wouldn't. You know what I mean? Seeing how, the profession is to rap
music.
Right.
Now, let me ask you a question. And we're going to go trio for trio here. Are you ranking the Fugees higher than a group like the Migos? How could you if you do?
The score is just so much better than everything that the Migos have done, though. I'm sorry. Like, it is. It's like, it's like leaps beyond their best stuff.
I think what Migos were here to do was make bangers. They weren't here to make albums.
How about this? Here's what I'll tell you. For different reasons, I would put them in the same striking distance of each other. So I feel that they're both like 25 to 30 groups, but ain't neither one of them top 25 to me, just for different reasons.
I think with the catalog Migos have, I think they can make an argument for top 15.
No, they can't.
And the impact.
No, they can't.
I think that you're an album guy, and I get that. And they didn't do that. I think their best album will probably be Young
Culture.
Rich Nigga or Culture.
Well, I mean, it's not just an album thing, Mike. They don't have the albums or the bars. That's why they're not top 15.
But they got the bangers.
The bangers ain't enough. Like, okay, so this is what I'm saying.
I think they can rap better than you're giving them credit for.
I'm about to name 15 groups off the top of my head.
Go ahead.
Run DMC.
Okay. Give you that.
NWA.
I give you that.
Public Enemy.
I give you that.
Outkast. Goody Mob. Wu-Tang Clan.
Whoa. Goody Mob. Let's put that one to the side.
No.
Goody
Soul
Mob.
Food and Still Standing blows the Migos whole catalog out the water. And
I don't know if I agree with. I mean,
Migos
obviously,
fan.
no. I'm a Goody Mob fan too. Soul Food.
I think you're a bigger Migos fan than Goody Mob fan.
Soul Food is the second best rap album to ever come out of this city. Possibly the second best album period to ever come out of this city. Still Standing's a great album too. But there was a lot of stuff left undone with Goody.
No, Goody's better than Migos, Mike. Nobody in.
I mean, because the other three albums. What do you think about those?
Well, let's pause. Let's take Goody off the table now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got Outkast.
I'm gonna give just hands down ones.
Okay. Outkast, Wu-Tang, NWA, Public Enemy, Run DMC. That's hands down, right?
Yeah.
Mobb Deep better.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 6. UGK better. That's 7. 3 6 Mafia.
Yeah.
That's 8. 8 Ball and MJG. That's 9.
Yep.
Okay. We're at 9 right now. The Locks. That's 10.
I don't know about the Locks as a group.
Okay.
Their group catalog.
Okay. Slide them over to the side. Let's slide them over to the side. We've kept it mostly Southern, outside of some old school East Coast groups. So let's go to the 90s. No. EPMD. That's 10.
You haven't said Tribe or Daylight yet.
I know, Mike. That's why you're in trouble, and they're not a top 15 group. So Tribe and Daylight. So now we got 11 and 12. Let's see. Where would we go after that? No. I'm thinking. I can think of a lot of guys that I think are better than them, though, Mike. That's what I'm saying. Ghetto Boys. That's 13.
I don't know about that one, man.
No, we can't be stopped. My mom playing tricks on me.
I don't know about that one. It's not hands down.
Ghetto Boys isn't hands down over Migos?
Their impact is their impact, but if we went catalog for catalog.
What about the Clips, Mike?
I don't know about that either.
Okay, stop the conversation. I want out. No,
Jay Short with the super chat.
Put the camera on me. I want out.
The people on set are laughing right now. Okay.
Right here. Cut me out of this.
You got Clips over Migos.
Mike, how can you not? Like, let's be real.
They're clearly better rappers.
No, Mike. They clearly make better albums too. That's what I'm saying, Mike. You can't have
better
guys.
Songs though. Albums. Okay, I give you that.
No, they make better songs too, Mike. They're better song makers.
Catalog.
They don't have the bangers. I'm sorry, Migos are a one-trick pony, Mike. They make bangers.
They do it very well though.
Yeah, but you can't beat guys who can out-rap you, out-album you, and make great songs.
Who do you think will win in the verses?
Clips.
Over Migos.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, man.
Name me 10 great Migos songs right now, Mike. 10.
10 banging ass Migos records?
Not 20, but 10.
So
I don't even think they make. When you say they're great at making bangers, Mike, they don't even have 10.
Really?
So how great are they at making
bangers?
All right,
so we'll go Bando. We'll go Hannah Montana.
2.
We'll go Versace.
3.
We'll go Fight Night. Oh no, Fight Night's a banger.
4.
Okay. Bad and Bougie.
5.
T-shirt.
6.
Running
out of steam. We almost done.
No, I'm not running out of steam.
T-shirt's the last banger to me, but go ahead, Mike.
Get Right With You.
That is.
Oh, okay, you don't want to go Get Right With You?
Get Right With You, Mike.
Get Right With You is hard.
Stop that.
Come on, man. Slippery.
Slippery, I'll give you. I'll give you Slippery. I'm not.
So you're not gonna give me Get Right With You, but you're gonna give me Slippery.
Slippery's better, right?
Okay, and then we're gonna go.
Motorsport.
Yeah, Motorsport. Sure.
Okay, this is why they're not better than the Clips, Mike.
Walk It.
No, Mike. Walk It.
These are what you talking about? These are hits, man.
These are hits. That don't mean they're great.
These are so.
Okay, so let's give you all of those. Where are you at?
I'm at 9.
And we're done, aren't we?
We're not done.
What else?
I'm just trying to pick the best one. You know what I mean? We could go
This is
the one that the Neptunes did.
You don't even know
to
the
end
name.
you with that one. No, I mean it's because we're on live. So you know the hit record.
People are bringing up Dab.
Yeah, they did. They started the dab, all that. I mean, it's countless stuff. So give me 10 Clips records.
Grinding. When the last time.
Okay.
I'm good.
I'm good. You had to go. I'm good.
It's one of their singles, isn't it?
It's not
I'm actually
that
starting with
big.
their singles. I'm
Okay.
doing their singles first, so that was one of their singles. Kind of like a big deal. Wamp Wamp, Mr. Me Too.
Getting kind of slim here. I
mean,
think
I'm just
my
going through their
10 will win.
singles.
Okay.
I'm just going through the singles, though. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
They also got the remix stuff over them, too. That's what I'm saying. They have a full catalog.
Remixes.
Yeah. Like I Love You, Justin Timberlake.
All right. Let me get to the super chats real quick. Jay Short with the super chat says, "Are the Fugees even higher than Diggable Planets?" I know y'all don't.
Dog Pound. You think the Dog Pound's better than the Fugees? I mean, better than Migos?
They just don't have enough. I love Dog.
So you got Migos ahead of Dog Pound and Clips.
I think so.
In
Based
what world, Mike?
On the catalog.
Put it up in the chat for people to vote so you can see how absurd you sound.
Are the Fugees even higher than Diggable Planet? I know y'all don't like Happy Rap, but Planet got 2 great albums. I love Diggable Planet.
What, Blowout Comb and
the first one, Reaching, excuse me.
Go ahead and put that up in the chat.
I
Mike.
missed a couple super chats.
Dog Pound, Migos, or Clips, or Ghetto Boys.
The Ghetto Boys are probably gonna get favored.
You
Charles
just said
Carter with the super chat.
You honestly, in clear conscience, think that the Migos are better than the Ghetto Boys, the Clips, and the Dog Pound?
I think that when it
Do
comes
you really
to their,
believe that?
I think when it comes to their catalog, they have stronger bangers than those groups do. Now, I do think that those groups are better rappers.
Hold on. Let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Busta Rhymes got more bangers than a lot of people that we have higher than. So how can you use that as an arguing point?
I think
because if that's the case, we need to put Busta higher based on what you're saying.
I think as we've discovered with Busta, most of his steam comes from remix and features.
But most of their steam comes from One Trick Pony too. That's what I'm saying.
But it's their songs. Busta really ain't got those songs by himself that could carry him in that way. He doesn't, not about on a volume level.
What the hell are you talking about, Mike?
I'm serious, and I love Busta.
Mike.
We got, all right, I'll make sure everything remains raw. Woo-ha. Dangerous?
No. It's a Party by Janae.
You think that's a bang? Yeah. I mean, it was cool for the time, but we got to be real here.
So we got Woo-ha, and we got
Everything Remains Raw. I mean.
No, don't act like Everything Remains Raw in the shit, Mike.
Oh, it's great.
It's better than anything the Migos ever did. It is. So that's
it's a great record.
Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. Dangerous. Tear the Roof Off.
Remix.
Tear the Roof Off.
Yeah, no, I got it. I mean, I'm just saying the remix, not the regular.
What's It Gonna Be? I Know What You Want. I'm already at 7 with Busta. So we're doing the same Migos conversation. Touch It. Past the Cavassier. I'm at 9 too with Busta. So why you got Migos so high, but we don't got Busta high? See the cracks. No, do you see the flaws in your argument?
This is what I'm going to say. Okay. We're talking about groups, right, with Migos.
But I'm saying the rules should apply across the board.
I agree. But if you put those songs that you named with Busta Rhymes up against his solo peers, it doesn't hold weight.
Like who?
Like the people we always talk
about. Like we have
about.
Redman ahead of him. How? Based on what you're saying. How is Meth ahead? How is Kiss ahead? How is Ray and Ghost ahead? Right. That's why Migos not top 15, because everything that you're lauding the Migos for that's making them top 15 is the criteria.
Redman's interesting.
But the criteria that you're using to elevate them is the criteria that we also look at other people and be like, nah, you stay out there.
I don't know, man. I see what you're saying with the Redman Busta thing, and that's an interesting conversation.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And I think
so. Look at the clips. Like, let's look at the clips of Migos right quick. Now, Mike, on Hell Hath No Fury are better songs than the Migos have ever made their entire career. Do the Migos have more bangers than the Clips? Yeah. Are they winning the verses against the Clips? No.
I think they would, because they got more notable records. Now, I do think that Busta would probably win a versus against Redman.
But this is what I'm saying. When you're saying more notable records, Mike, you're also a fan. You also live in Atlanta.
And I'm also from Atlanta.
And you're also from Atlanta. What I'm trying to tell you is that some of that stuff that you think is about to fly well, like Bando, ain't flying well outside the city.
We about to talk Wu-Tang in a second. I can't wait to talk this. Charles Carter with the super chat says, Troublesome 96 by Pac was the dope diss at Nas as well. Flipping Nas If I Ruled the World by doing a hitting Zeus scheme. Man, nigga Pac was very, very subliminal and cerebral is the word I was looking for.
He was familiar with the art of war, so he's a tactician in the art of war. So, you know.
CJ Kidd says, tell Coop Gangstar is greater than Migos.
Gangstar would be one of the groups, too.
Mad Max with the super chat says, better than Migos. I know y'all not about to start this Migos dead change music. Migos dead change music. Well, all right, with the Gangstar thing, and this is a conversation you and I need to have because we're going to do a group list. Are we counting the DJ and MC as groups and duos?
Well, if that's the case, the Migos aren't even top 25.
Yeah, because if that happens, then Eric B. and Rakim's there. So, you know what I mean? That throws things off.
Hold on. Legit, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Run DMC, NWA, Public Enemy, Wu-Tang, Outkast, Tribe, De La, The Roots.
I'll give you that.
All right. 8 Ball and MJG.
And even though I'm not a huge Roots fan like that,
just stupid,
I'm not going to even refute that because it is what it is. The Roots are a better group than them.
8 Ball and MJG.
Yeah.
UGK.
Yep.
That's 10. 3-6 Mafia is 11.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike, I just, you know what, I get what you're saying. Like somebody like a Dog Pound that made dog food. But in a vacuum, no. But was it way, way bigger here than everywhere else? Yes. Is that the case with a lot of Migos shit? Yeah.
Well, one of the interesting things that the Migos were able to accomplish, it was the fact that the Migos were able to be underground, start from the grassroots up and then get all the way to pop crossover success to the level where they're touring with Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like really co-headlining with the biggest star in rap. So it's like they kind of experience both sides of things, not to mention Offset being married to Cardi. So they've kind of done it all in a way where they're very unique when you look at their experience in this music thing.
I might not be giving them enough credit. I just don't think that their music has aged well, and I don't think it sticks to the ribs of people like other great groups. I do think a group like the Lox or the Clips, even though they don't have, because the songs are better consistently, as in like the Migos are home run hitters, Mike. Home run hitters usually don't hit for average very well. They usually don't have the all-around game to be considered an all-time great player. Like, let's use an example. Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Mark McGwire is a home run hitter. Barry Bonds is a baseball player.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about groups like the Clips, Ghetto Boys, Gangstar, Dog Pound, in relationship to the Migos. It's not to disrespect them. It's like I'm taking the 5-tool player over the home run hitter every time. Yeah. Give me a guy that hits 325 home runs, 120 RBIs, 30 stolen bases, over the guy that's going to hit 50 home runs and then hit 250. That's just me.
With all those things being said, it's very clear that I'm putting Migos over Fugees. You know what I'm saying?
I can give you that. When you named all those songs, I was thinking to myself, like, damn, the Fugees don't have that many records.
Exactly. I mean, the work is what it is. And like I was telling guys here earlier, it's like those are the records that are notable to like the mainstream, but there's 2 Migos out there. You got the Apple Music, Spotify Migos, and there's a SoundCloud Migos. Like they got 2 totally different. Like you could go on a SoundCloud Migos binge where they got a catalog of music that ain't even on streaming platforms, and it's impressive. Let me get to some of these super chats. Andrew Williams with the super chat says, Mike, you're making me laugh, man, and not in a good way. Stop it, Mike, with this Migos stuff. Y'all got to open up your mind, man. Open up your palate.
How about this? I'm opening up my mind enough that I can tell you that somebody like a Smith & Wesson, who only did The Shining, really.
Right.
And did some other stuff, but you know what I'm saying? If you want to put the Migos over them, no, I can understand that. If you wanted to put them over somebody like the Far Side, which I'd be kind of funny about too, Mike, because I thought about bringing up the Far Side.
I love Far Side.
Made 2 dope albums. Made 2 really, really dope albums. Lab Cabin California is highly, highly underrated.
But it's hard to convince somebody who grew up in the Migos generation that somebody like Far Side is better than them, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who grew up in the Migos generation already is going to side in that way, but I could go to Run DMC route and prove that. I could go to NWA route and prove that, but it's very difficult with people who have limited material and limited impact to say that they're better than this group all the time.
Okay, so this is what I mean. So even in a vacuum, because I know most of the guys I'm talking about have better catalogs than the Migos, but I get what you're saying, but this is what I'm saying. So, Mike, if you has an arbitrary listener just drop down in this atmosphere, and you were to hear, what's the Migos' biggest record?
Bad and Bougie.
And you were to hear Bad and Bougie from the Migos,
Mm-hmm.
and then you were to hear Grinding from the Clips, who would you pick? Because rap is kind of one of those sports where, Mike, it's like you kind of take the guy or you take the group that you know, like when you hear them. Like Mike, we have this conversation. It's like, well, Wu-Tang really only made one really all-time great album, Mike. But when you hear them, you know what time it is. You feel me? So you're listening to Grinding and you're listening to Bad and Bougie. Who you picking? Because that's really what I'm saying. Is it's like, no, this is still rap. And if Grinding is their best single and Bad and Bougie is their best single, then I'm totally right. Because
let me break this down.
Because Bad and Bougie, for whatever it is, Mike, it's not better than Grinding. Clip's best is still better than Migos' best when it comes to making a banger. Because Grinding's a all-time banger that Bad and Bougie is not.
I think the beats, got
Pharrell, had Metro, so it ain't no leg up on.
I was gonna say the beats honestly are more comparable than people think.
No, they got Metro.
Although the Grinding beat is historic, right? But I think that first verse, Bad and Bougie, the way Offset set it off, that's something that grabs you in ways that I don't think the first verse of Grinding grabs you.
Mike, from ghetto to ghetto, from backyard to yard, I sell it with one whiff. I'm the neighborhood pusher. Yeah. Backyard to yard, I sell it with one whiff. I'm the neighborhood pusher.
Yeah.
Call me subwoofer because I pump bass like that, Jack. Mike, you're bugging. If you you think that lead off isn't more catchy and inspiring and more hip hop oriented and rooted than the Bad and Bougie beginning with Offset?
Well, the lead off where you're taking from Rakim's My Melody, it's like,
So you talked about the buy-in. The buy-in is there because he did some shit that we all knew. It's rooted in hip hop culture. That's why I'm saying Clips is rooted in some things. Even as somebody that's not a typical East Coast group because they're from Virginia, they're rooted in this rap shit. The songs are just better, Mike. You can't beat groups like that when you're a one-trick pony is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Because here's the thing about it, Mike. You're going to play banger after banger after banger, and they're going to hit you with this and hit you with that and hit you with this, hit you with that. Like, what do you have for any of these records? Like, what are you going to do when they play Keys Open Doors?
You want to station head with these groups? Is that where we're going? I already got Future going against Drake. I'm cool with taking Migos against Clips if you want to do it.
I do.
All right. Leroy Green with the Super Chat says, Mike, Migos is not trying to be the best group. They just want to exist in the trap club. No diss. That's not true because they said they were the greatest group of all time.
They did say that. They said that they were this is what I mean, Mike. After Culture One, they said that they were the biggest thing since the Beatles. It's fascinating.
Yeah, got the Beatles hoodie on right now. Jay Short with the Super Chat says, Mike, are the Migos better than the Hot Boys? Yes. They got the catalog. It is what it is. Like, we can't ignore catalogs, man. Because I think what people are doing, we're taking people out of the group. Like, oh, okay, Ghetto Boys got Scarface, Willie D, yada yada.
No, I was thinking about We Can't Be Stopped.
We have to look at the music. Like, take the people in the groups out of it.
Right. No.
You know
okay.
I mean?
How about this? Even with Ghetto Boys, I can see some of what you're saying, but when you're saying that about the Clips, it's like, nah, I know what Hell Hath No Fury sound like till the casket drops. Lord
I love
willing.
the Clips. I love the Clips.
No,
and that's a great conversation.
No. That's what I mean because it's like, well, they're not your quote-unquote typical East Coast rap group either, but they do provide some things that Migos don't because I just feel like they're more. How about this?
I feel like they're missing like 2 albums, in my opinion.
When we're looking at our top of the top on our MC list, we got Nas.
Right.
We got Jay.
Right.
Got Ice Cube. Tupac. Who was our number 5? Rakim.
Rakim.
What can't those guys do on the mic? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
Like, the Migos just have too many holes for me to be a top 15 group. And so I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting them or disrespecting this era either.
I feel what you're saying.
I just feel like there's too many holes in their game. Now, you can prove me wrong.
I think their strength is in the catalog, though. And you saying their catalog is one trick pony, and I think that is
That's what I mean. Like, the strength in their catalog is their ability to make a hit record. But what I'm saying is that
what can they do outside of a hit record?
And do some of these hit records start sounding the same?
Okay.
When you play them back to back to back to back to back like you have to. You get what I'm saying? Like, Grinding and Mr. Me Too sound nothing alike.
Mr. Me Too is mean.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a mean record.
That's what I mean. It's like, what are you going to do when I play records like that, though, and you just got to play another banger? You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do when I play some of my street shit? Like, what are you going to do if I play something like, what's the joint? I Like, what if I play What Happened to That Boy? What you gonna do?
It's a tough record.
That's what I mean. Like Migos don't have nothing for that. They got something for the bangers. It's like, so you can beat my bangers, but it's like you can't beat my rap records.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
I
want to take that on.
We need to make this whole Wu-Tang Death Row thing.
We're going to talk about that, too. Andrew Williams with the Super Chat says, Migos bangers are only good for the time, too, Mike. Let's be real. Are you still playing the Migos? Yes. He says, stop it. Against their peers, they don't hold up either. Really? Okay.
Who are their peers?
I mean, they don't have any groups as peers.
Kodak?
Ain't no peers.
Kodak and Yachty are their peers.
Everybody's like solo artists. I want to make sure we get to all these super chats too.
all their peers are solo artists for the most part.
They kept the group alive. Like they came around during a time when nobody was in groups. CJ Kidd says Migos over MOP and Onyx. Yes.
Yeah. See, I could see that.
CJ Kidd says, "Say it. Migos are greater than Black Star. You know you want to. Of course they are.
Oh, yeah. I'll say that, too. I'll say that for you, Mike. Don't worry about it. I'll say that for you, Mike.
Yeah. Jay Short says, I got to stop at MOP and Onyx. I don't like Migos, but we not just going to put every NY group over Migos.
Correct.
Peter Guns and Lord Tariq better, too, huh? Yeah, according to New Yorkers, yeah. Peter Guns and Lord Tariq better than Goody Mob, I'm sure.
You think the Boot Camp clique is better? As a whole?
Better than they're a whole collective.
Yeah, the Boot Camp clique.
That's not fair. That's a bunch of different groups. That's Smith and Wesson. That's Buckshot. That's Black Moon. That's Helter Skelter. Now you know how I feel about Sean Price. I love Sean Price.
See, this is what I mean.
And we don't talk about Helter Skelter. I don't think they're gonna be on this Billboard list.
What you think about Def Squad?
I feel
Eric, Keith, and Red.
I feel like Def Squad's like G Unit. I feel like Def Squad's like Dipset. I think that's a whole different conversation.
Not groups.
That's like
It's a collective, not a group. Okay.
And I think that's a list too. You know what I mean? But they convolute these lists.
We might need to do a group list.
Mm-hmm.
A DJ MC.
I think
list,
that's fair.
And a collective list.
Actual group where nigga, we came in the record label and signed as a group.
So I think we should maybe do a top 50 group, but then we should do the collective.
Mm-hmm.
And then do a top 10 collective and a top 10 DJ MC pairing so people kind of understand. But that hurts people like Gangstar, in my opinion, who should be higher up
they're
on the
number
all-time
one
group list.
They're number one when it comes to duo of DJ and MC.
Eric B and Rakim are, but okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight that one. But
sorry, Gangstar ain't got no damn paid in full.
Hey, there it is. T Nitty with the super chat says, Farside, Smith & Wesson, and Wu got more classics than the Migos. Of course the Wu does. Come on, man.
It's Wu-Tang.
Yeah, you throwing Wu in it. And on that note, Wu-Tang Forever celebrated an anniversary this past week, and I wanted to kind of have a conversation about that real quick. CJ Kidd says, just asking questions for laughing. Jay Short, is Migos better than G Unit or Dipset? More questions. Yes, because they're actually a group.
Those are collectives. I get what you're saying about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's different, man. Then we're going to sit here and talk about the Dungeon Family. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And again, collectives can't make the album output that real groups have because they're actually a group. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're actually a group.
Nah, Mike, the Lox are better than the Migos. I just thought about that.
I mean, they don't have the catalog to prove it as a group. The Lox, the shortcoming with the Lox is their group catalog. I mean, this last album that they put out a couple of years ago is their best album.
It is.
And you and I said that.
But We Are the Streets is comparable.
Is it like that, though?
I love We Are the Streets. Breathe Easy is one of my favorite records. Like, period. We gonna RUFFRYDE Revolver, semi-automatic in the PG, Hoopty, Getaway Driver, Breathe Easy. Yeah, that's your.
Do you think the Lox as a group are underachievers?
For the talent level, yes.
There it is.
Because in Kiss and Styles, well, see, but this isn't the underachiever or overachiever conversation we having. Are the Migos overachievers? Oh, well, hell yeah. The Lox underachievers? Hell yeah. But that ain't what we talking about.
Okay. All right. Well, Wu-Tang Forever celebrated, what, 26 years? Yeah, it's 97.
Been a long
time. Double disc. And I think we've talked about this before.
That mid-90s revenue pitch that Tupac started.
Exactly.
Tupac started a whole stimulus package with the double disc.
I was telling Ron that earlier. I was like, we looked at double disc differently back then. We thought, oh, shit, double disc. But now some money. I mean, It was a money play. Looking back at it.
Yeah, Pac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a money play.
He's out of jail.
Even with the Blueprint 2, right? And after Ether happened. Just so you couldn't say, well, Ether affected his record sales. Let me drop a double disc to make sure that this number stays intact.
You want to know what came on today that I literally haven't heard in about a decade? A Dream, the start to the Blueprint 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just listening to it, and I was like, yeah, you lost that battle real bad. You were rapping your ass off.
He was. Yeah. That's the only time Jay ever admitted defeat on the song The Blueprint 2.
Had a dream, I said, about who he said, about Big, I said, that's
Big, he said. Yo, and so that was a numbers play, and so was Scorpion. It's like whenever you lose a rap battle, let's throw a double disc out there to make sure that the numbers don't get affected in the court of public opinion.
Well, it's a music business, Mike.
But I feel like in Pac's case and in Wu-Tang Forever, I don't think that was the case. I think that Wu-Tang justifiably put out a double disc because they had so many members and they had so many projects come out between that 4-year, I guess you could say 3.5-year period, because it was the end of 93. But I think that we really wanted a double disc from Wu. What do you think?
The younger version of me agreed with you.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know who the RZA is now, so this was a money play.
Think that was a money play too?
It was, because he wanted Wu-Tang to be where Puff and Big were, where Pac was, where Nas was, where their contemporaries were.
Which came out first, Art of War or Wu-Tang Forever? Because that was a double disc too. I forgot Bone did that.
Wu-Tang Forever came out first.
Yeah, it might have been a money play then, because everybody was doing it.
Well, let's look at it. We got just 96 specifically. We got Nas doing about 3 million on It Was Written.
Yeah.
We got Pac doing 5 on the double with All Eyes on Me. Big had just got done doing 1.5 on Ready to Die. Not mistaken, Junior Mafia was gold.
I can see that.
And they were going gold and platinum.
They had bangers on there too.
Right. Now let's go to Wu-Tang right quick. Until the Wu-Tang went platinum, barely. Method Man went platinum. But people forget, no. Return, Cuban Links, Liquid Swords, Iron Man, gold, not platinum.
Yeah.
Ray sold 700,000. Jizza sold about the same. So they're not going platinum. Their contemporaries are going platinum. Wu-Tang Forever is a money play.
And so it's a sophomore album. You can't show that sophomore slump. So you got to make sure the numbers are there.
Right, because you just went platinum in 93 with no pub.
That could have been Bones' thing too with Art of War, because East 99 did so many units. They're like,
7 million
we got to
units.
make sure it matches this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
the double disc was that play to do that.
Now it looks better for Wu-Tang because it's like, oh, well, they got so many guys and the guys are stars now.
That's how I looked at it.
That's how we all looked at it. It's just not true, Mike. This is the music business. And here's how we should have known that it wasn't like this. Think about how much money they spent for the first fucking video.
You're right. Triumph was this is a big event
Triumph
type
was making
thing.
MTV News. Like, what's her name? Tabitha Sorensen? Remember Tabitha pulling up? Yeah, because they were showing the visual aids of them doing it. Had Deck on the side of the building and interviewing the Wu-Tang Clan. I'm like, they're interviewing these niggas? I was like, this is big.
Right.
So this is a money grab.
They had explosions and shit.
$1 million
Quincy
video.
Jones was in the video. You remember that?
Yes. They got Ray and Ghost in like a gold cage. I'm like, these niggas got
Ray and Ghost is sitting there with Quincy Jones and
I was looking at Mike when Ray came on. I was like, that piece cost about half of this video. I'm like, these niggas is rich now.
Hey yo, that's amazing. CJ Kidd with the super chat says G Unit, Dipset, and Boot Camp Click all have group albums. They are a collective, but they have albums as a group. But how many though? T Nitty with the super chat says Migos got 0 classic albums, not a top 20 without that. Okay. Let's see what else we got here as far as super chats go. I think I just missed somebody. I gotta get a better system for this. All right, Jay Short with the super chat says Made Men are greater than the Migos.
That's just disrespectful.
He said I seen it in the source. I bet you did. Made Men are a top 10 group in the Source magazine.
They got 4.5 mics.
Christopher Hogan with the super chat says,
damn shame.
No Hot Boys. I'm Louisiana biased though. You know what? I'll say this, man. If the Hot Boys once again would have stayed around longer, yes. I think that one of the things when it comes to groups, and we're seeing it with the Migos now, groups don't last that long because of breakups and because of splits, whatever, and things like that.
Money.
And folks go solo. So not a lot of groups have that longevity to be in those conversations. That's why I got to give De La props. I got to give the Locks props for staying together and maintaining that group. But the Locks thing is they're bigger as individuals than they are as the Locks.
Yeah,
and that's one of the rare situations that never happens.
Till Mighty D Block comes on, Mike, and then it all changes. Everywhere we go, people want to know.
They're the only group that's like that.
They are the only groups that the sum of their parts are greater than the group.
It's crazy. I mean, they're very different.
You could say that about Wu too, though, Mike.
That Wu-Tang symbol is what it is.
It's Wu-Tang forever. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, here's
even as big as Meth and Ray and RZA are, that Wu-Tang brand is big.
Here's what the Locks didn't do. They needed a classic album out the gate. Because Enter the Wu-Tang has lingered on. And will linger on forever. Enter the Wu-Tang is why it's Wu-Tang forever, not Wu-Tang forever.
What does a classic debut Locks album look and sound like in 1997?
Probably all those tracks that we heard on No Way Out.
Oh, yeah. All About the Benjamins, the first single.
Puff ass.
T Nitty with the super chat says, We Are the Streets is better than any Migos album. I mean, y'all ready to go to war with me on this.
We Are the Streets is pretty dope, Mike. When I said
I need to go back and revisit
when I said
the Streets.
When I said the Living Off Experience album was the best Locks album, I wasn't saying it like by a lot. I was saying it like, oh no, it's close between We Are the Streets and Living Off Experience. They have two stellar albums.
You and I both expressed how bogus it is that the Source magazine refused to actually rate Wu-Tang Forever. What do you think Wu-Tang Forever in 1997 should have gotten in the Source magazine?
Realistically?
Yeah, realistically.
Well, this is what I mean about where they messed up. Well, when you give Liquid Swords and Iron Man 4 mics, when you give Liquid Swords and Iron Man 4 mics, and you give the Purple Tape 4.5, and you give Takao 4, and Return to the 36 Chambers 4, and you give Enter the Wu-Tang 4.5, well, since you fucked up all their mics already, you feel what I'm saying? Since you've already fucked up, where they really messed up, specifically West Coast and Wu-Tang. And so, based on how they were rating the albums, this would be a 3.5 based on how they were rating it.
Jeez. There would have been riots in the street if they would have given this 3.5.
4, Mike. Return to the 36 Chambers got a 4. The Purple Tape's a 4.5. Liquid Swords and Iron Man, which are clearly better than this album, got 4s.
Yeah.
So even handing this album a 4, you understand how many people would have burned down the buildings in New York? Like, oh, y'all gave these niggas a 4. Why Liquid Swords get a 4 then?
Yeah.
Why Iron Man get a 4?
Yeah.
Why the Purple Tape only get 4.5 if this is a 4 and Purple Tape sound 20 times better than this? So they screwed themselves, which is why they didn't rate it. The real rating for an album is an actual 4, though, Mike.
I think so, too. CJ Kidd says, is Cypress Hill better than Migos?
Maybe.
I don't think so, but
Maybe. They've done a lot of material. They're kind of like Migos in the sense that they've done a lot of material.
They got the longevity. Yeah.
No, they've done a lot of material that's great that people don't know about outside of the tribe in Cali.
Well, speaking of bangers, what about Naughty by Nature?
I can't take Naughty over Migos. I'm sorry.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
No, I'm going to be honest with you.
Anyway, but yeah, I think the 4.
I never liked Naughty's albums like that, though.
I'm just saying, Naughty and Migos, as far as their approach, is very similar. Naughty wasn't here to make albums for you. They were here to make bangers, and they did that. But they just didn't do it as long as the Migos did.
I don't think they were prepared for what OPP became. So I think Migos' goal was always to make bangers. I think it's something that Tretch and Van got kind of thrust into because of what OPP became. Because it became the rap song of the year that year. And so it was like, oh shit, we got to keep on doing this.
And I think Hip Hop Parade is bigger.
I think Hip Hop Parade is better.
I think OPP is better, in my personal opinion, but I ain't mad at that.
I think Tretch is a better MC in 93, slightly.
You're right. No, that's correct.
The way he's fucking sliding on Hip Hop Parade.
Yeah.
Like, Tretch is just a mic performer. Like, big, bright lights, drastically underrated. He showed his ass on that record.
Yeah. You heard a lot about a brother gaining more ground, being low down, or do the showdown with any little hoe round. I want to know who you believe in. And when he said that part about you put your heart in a part of a part that spreads apart.
Yeah, when we had a spark. Ooh,
jeez.
That's what I'm saying. He doing this on a. You want to know? It's very Biggie like. How
it
he's
is
just talking reckless on the big record.
I remember Biggie giving him props too. Like he was talking about how crazy OPP was being a hit record and this man rapping like this.
Push the Chrome 740 doing what? Rocking Redman and Naughty.
Yeah. You know what somebody told me today, man?
He shouted out Tretch on Ready to Die in the notes too.
Yeah.
And when he talked
He
about
sure did. I remember
when
that.
he did interviews and talked about the best lyricists before his album was coming out, he specifically referenced Tretch and Nas. So
a hip hop listener that's slightly younger than you and I, but still in his 30s, told me today that Biggie was overrated and Eminem was in his top 5. And I proceeded to be like, okay, well, let's go song for song then.
Okay. You should stop talking to him.
And so I started off with Juicy.
Are you
and
friends?
like,
Are you friends with him?
you
should stop being friends.
We
with
just
him.
met, you know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? It's
Need to end the relationship.
I'm trying to get into the psyche of some of these crazed Eminem fans.
Especially when he finds out who you really are. Has he watched this show ever?
I mean, he knew quickly who I was as far as, you know, my stance on Eminem and his catalog. But he went to the stance where it was like, whatever song I say, you're just going to not like. It's like, no, it's not about that. I'm going to name One More Chance remix, and you give me something to match that. And he was saying stuff like, you know, the way I am or whatever. I don't know. I don't get it with the Eminem fans. I think that MTV and Interscope did an incredible job of catching people in their very impressionable years, and they buried into them that this guy is elite to the level of somebody like a Biggie Smalls. And I think people who weren't around for Biggie's run might think that some of the stuff is overstated because the man has 2 albums, but nobody did more with 2 albums than Big. But anyway, man, 97 was that Life After Death year, and for them to give Life After Death 5 mics and not rate Wu-Tang Forever as a double disc, I could understand how Wu-Tang Forever is difficult to rate, especially, you know, based on all the things that you just said about how they rated Liquid Swords, Iron Man, and all that stuff. But you still got to step up to the plate and rate an album like Wu-Tang Forever. It was a big moment.
Do you think Life After Death deserved the 5?
I don't.
Okay.
I didn't back then. I understand now why it did, because my mentality back then with the 5 mics was a perfect album, no skips. Something that Clark Kent said, actually. And I disagree with now, and I agreed with back then, but Life After Death has skips. And if Clark Kent wants to say that The Chronic is not a classic because he could do without the RBX song, well, let's look at this album right here. Can you do without Jigga That Nigga Jigga?
I can do without that Brooklyn's Finest beat on Reasonable Doubt, but ain't nobody complaining about it.
Can you do
that
without?
Beat ain't all that.
It's not. Can you do without Ola Ovito?
I can do without that first song that he released on the 18th letter too. They should have released The Saga Begins or It's Been a Long Time. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
About how people need to be careful. It's like, yeah, you messed up Rakim's comeback with that whack beat. So
I think Life After Death's 4.5. Based on what they were giving 5 mics at that point. And based on the fact that you gave Only Built for Cuban Links 4.5.
Now, I think Life After Death was arguably the hardest rating to give at the time, because here's the thing. There are some skips on there, but the stuff that you don't skip is just like, I'll tell you how.
That's how I feel now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it balances out.
I'll tell you how I feel. I think the first album is flawless on Life After Death.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would agree with you on this. I think the weakest song on disc 1 is Hypnotized.
Yeah, I don't like Hypnotized, but Hypnotized is a banger and the nigga's spitting. So I can't, I mean, that's more of a personal thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sorry, when the nigga's saying shit like, I know you sick of this lame brand nigga wit flows. Yeah, when he spit, that's the weakest record on disc 1.
Girlfriend, here's a pen. Call me round 10. Come through, have sex on Russ's
Hypnotized is your weak song?
Yeah.
It's like, so first of all, disc 1's a 5, okay?
Yeah. I got a story to tell. What's beef?
Yeah.
More money, more problems. He circled every wagon. He got bangers, album songs.
This one is the 5. The real skips come in disc 2, because disc 2 is more subjective in the musical taste towards the end, where it's like, well, those last 4 songs are all knockouts. Everything up to those songs, like tracks 1 through 8 on disc 2 is about the big that you like. And that's where the skip comes in, because 9, 10, 11, and 12 are not skippable tracks.
And I will say this, on disc 2, he's innovating. Kind of like
that's what I mean. It's about the big that you like. It's like
he's doing some things that we hadn't heard rappers do.
Well, this is what I mean. They're skippable tracks. I like Going Back to Cali, but I don't play it every time.
Right.
I'm going to tell you exactly how I usually play disc 2. Like for me, you know how disc 2 plays for me? I play Notorious Thugs.
Yep.
Then I go to 10 Crack Commandments. And then I go to The World Is Filled and I Let It Ride. That's what I mean about it skipped.
I skip.
But I don't like that happy shit, and everybody knows that. So ain't gonna be no player hater or no nasty boy or no sky's the limit. I don't want to hear that.
You know he produced Sky's the Limit too.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Clark Kent produced Sky's the Limit. He said Biggie said that was.
I don't care for that beat either.
Biggie said that was his favorite song on the album, actually. CJ Kidd with
because he likes the whole ashy to classy thing.
Yeah,
that's his thing.
CJ Kidd with the super chat says they messed up Gangstar 2. Step in the Arena and Daily Operation got 3.5. Hard to Earn got 4, and Moment of Truth got 4.5 mics. Objectively, these are all classics by the general consensus.
No, the Moment of Truth should have got the 5. The rest of them is about proper though.
Yeah, how many classic albums do you think the Gangstar has?
2, Hard to Earn and Moment of Truth.
Okay. Mad Max says, I'm taking Migos over most of these
groups.
groups.
Which one got mass appeal? Is that Step Into Arena?
Yeah, that's Step Into the Arena.
Hard to Earn still better.
Mad Max with the super chat says, I'm taking Migos over most of these groups. And sorry, grinding cool, but Fight Night would get that out of here. Watch. I love it, Mad Max. See, Mad Max representing for the younger generation, and he from New York.
Mad Max don't know shit, and everybody that watches the show know that.
Andrew Williams with the super chat says, Mike, I didn't mean literally Migos peers because they don't have any peers. I meant against other groups in history. They don't stack up against. Just wanted to clarify. Well, see, that's the other thing, too. If we're comparing them to other generations, that means they're really strong. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they didn't have any peers similar to Nicki, but the difference between them and Nicki is they actually made rap records.
You know what I am going to do, Mike, out of respect for your rap perspective? I'm going to do a little Migos dig. I'm still going to whoop you with the clips real good. I'm going to beat you real sound, fundamental. Mike, I'm going to beat you with some typical rap songs.
Typical rap songs. The title of this episode.
I'm going to beat you with typical rap songs.
Yeah, I'm going to have to change the title of this episode. Typical rap songs. Melvin Wright with the super chat says, Life After Death got 5 because he died. Let's be real.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I thought when it happened.
I mean, I'm just saying if you just go.
But it's justifiable. It ain't off. It's not like Made Men getting 4.5 or nothing.
That's some off base shit.
Yeah, it's not off base. Or Guerrilla Warfare getting 4.5. Mad Max with another super chat.
That was absurd.
That shit was crazy. Eminem.
How you give 400 Degrees 4, but give Guerrilla Warfare 4.5?
Right.
What the hell are you listening to?
Listening to some checks cashing. Mad Max with the super chat
Universal
says,
at work.
Right. M isn't in Biggie's level, but Biggie is overrated. He said, one second. All right. He said, M isn't on Biggie's level, but Biggie is overrated. And he was used to blackball Nas and Wu and rappers with a real message. Biggie is a great talent, though. Interesting perspective.
See how Mad Max don't know shit.
Jay Short with the super chat says, here's a fair question. Is Migos better than Naughty by Nature or Bone? Again, I give them the longevity conversation.
What say you about Bone?
And I'm a huge Bone fan. You know that.
I'm taking Bone over Migos. Bone got Migos. Yeah.
Listen, man.
I don't care what you say.
You know I love Bone,
Thuggish,
man.
Ruggish Bone, For the Love of Money, Crossroads, 1999, First of the Month, Everyday Thing. What's the shit on the soundtrack? Days of Our Lives.
Shoot 'em up.
Shoot 'em up? No, you don't want. Don't do that.
Now
I'll beat you with Bone versus Migos.
You probably would.
Beat you.
No, you probably would.
Yeah, Migos not better than Bone. And here's the thing: Bone to me is barely top 15. Like they're 15 to 20. That's why I'm like, no, Migos more like 25, 30.
I think Migos gets them in the longevity run, and I know
but think about this. You got to use the longevity run for the Migos to beat Bone. That means what? That means Bone got them on bangers.
In a vacuum, if we're talking about that time period where Bone was hot, nobody's touching Bone in that period. Like we're talking about 94 to 97. But if we look at the whole duration, I would give Migos the nod. And I mean, I got ties to Bone, and I hate to say, I'm trying to be fair. You know what I mean?
You just don't have any smoke for that, Mike, because the Migos thing is the bangers, and guess who got better and more classic bangers than the Migos?
And
Bone.
East 1999 is better than every album that Migos
Mike, I ain't even
made.
bought up Thug Love. It's a problem out in these streets.
Yeah, Notorious Thugs is in their catalog too. Yeah.
CJ
CJ Kidd with the super chat says, Edutainment by BDP got 5 mics, yet is never documented with the other 5 mics in future publications.
The blueprint, the first blueprint.
Documenting them. I wonder why. Well, and this is what I wanted to talk about too. It's funny we're talking about Wu-Tang Forever and we're talking about mic ratings. A lot of those groups that got 5 mics before Illmatic, some of those groups, and I mean, Brand Nubian's album, right?
These ain't 5 Mike albums. I've been saying that.
And I think what happened was The Source, they created this 5 Mike lexicon after Illmatic, where an album had to be perfect, and it made it look like some of the albums that they gave 5 Mics before that weren't at that level. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, none of the albums before the Illmatic 5 Mic album are better, but let's pull them up right quick.
yeah, let's pull up the albums that, because I want to say in order. It's America's Most, right? Well, no. People's Instinctives first. Then America's Most. Then I want to say Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, right?
Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. It's People's Instinctive.
Uh-huh.
And then it's Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, because People's Instinctive is April 10th, and Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em is June 19th, and that's both 90.
Okay. And you know how I love People Instinctives.
America's Most is May 16th, so April, May, June.
Yeah, so they gave April, May, June. Yeah, they gave 5 Mics April, May, June.
They gave out 5 Mics 3 straight months in 1990.
They were kind of still getting it together.
I mean, People's Instinctive isn't a 5 Mic album, Mike.
And you know I love People's Instinctive.
But
It's not. It's not.
Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em is.
I don't think it is, and I love Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em.
Where's the skip? Where's the bad performance?
I think as the album goes on, it doesn't have that level of intensity that No Omega, Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, Ghetto, and all that stuff have.
It might be his best mic performance, which is saying a lot, though.
That is saying a lot.
It's
I think the
Rakim's best
production
mic
kind of
performance.
lacks a little bit, though.
Okay.
I think Step Back and all that stuff is dope, but you know, I think it's 4.5 at most. You know what I'm saying?
I'm cool with the 4.5, but it's definitely not a 4.
No. Then what's after that?
Is America's Most a 5? Is America's Most the first real 5?
I think Death Certificate's the 5. Honestly.
No. That they actually gave it to before Illmatic, though, because Death Certificate got 4.5.
I'm fine with America's Most getting 5.
So America's Most should actually be the first 5, Mike.
It really should.
And then the Low End Theory would be the next 5.
Now that's a 5. The Low End Theory is 5.
Because One for All comes out December 4th of 1990, and that got a 5 too.
Right.
No. So for me, I think it goes, America's Most in 90, and then Low End Theory in 91. And so those are the only 5 Mike albums that they got right, in my opinion, before Illmatic.
Do you think 36 should have got 5?
Easy.
I think The Chronic should have got 5. I think Doggy Style should have got 5.
I mean, they just shitted on the West Coast. Death Certificate got 4.5. That's a 5 Mike album. That's Cube's best work. The Chronic is one of the best works ever. That's a 5 Mike album. Doggy Style is one of the best works ever. That's a 5 Mike album. They've been fucking up for our whole life.
Yeah.
Our whole life.
And so Only Built for Cuban Links should have got 5, right? After Illmatic,
hey, real talk.
Yeah.
The Infamous and Cuban Links did not get 5 Mics because they came out a year after Illmatic.
I still think even after Illmatic, Only Built for Cuban Links should have got it.
Mike, it's the only album that I tell you, it's just like, oh no, I played a Purple Tape more than I play Illmatic, and I always did.
And then I'm gonna say Akumina. I think Life After Death should have got 4.5.
Ooh, hold on.
And I'm gonna jump out of the window and say Supreme Clientele should have got 5 mics.
Yeah, I figured you would do that.
I'm jumping out the window.
I'll tell you what. For different,
CJ Kidd with the super chat says, Mr. Scarface got 4. The World Is Yours got 3.5. Diary got 4. And then 5. And then 5 later. Untouchable got 4. My Homies got 4. Dying Breed got 4.5. The Fix got 5. Is this rating correct, or is Face for Face from The Source? Do you think The Fix should be his only 5 mic album?
The Diary.
The Diary, okay. Jay Short with the
most
super
of Face
chat.
stuff is 4.5.
Okay.
Like almost like the catalog is 4.5. Like The Fix, The Diary. What's the first one? Mr. Scarface is Back.
Yeah.
Those are the.
Jay Short with the super chat says,
Untouchable, not too far behind though.
He said, big Gangstar fan, but hard to earn is a 4. It's strange that Primo's transition an album between jazz and boom bap. Daily Operation was better and more cohesive. Mad Max with the super chat says, Biggie just talked a lot of mess, but really what he do is praise him, gave him a holiday, and nothing he said was positive ever. I know this game is about to start, so we can close up or whatnot, but I want to leave off on the fact that the station head is happening with myself and Ron. I'm representing Future. He's representing Drake. We're going to be doing that station head at 10 o'clock on Saturday. Okay. I'm supposed to be getting beaten. You know what I'm saying? Like, Drake has the he has the hit records. Like, he has everything over Future except for impact.
Yes, I would like to see your list. Don't say nothing. I'm not going to say anything.
Well, I mean, he definitely could use you guys' help. I mean, you can definitely help him as well. I'm gonna get some help from Paperboy with the Future list. I'm gonna go over my Future list, man. We got bangers. Coop's over here looking at the list. I don't want to see it because I don't want any excuses while somebody lost. Huh? I got Future. Oh, word? CJ Kidd with the super chat said America's Most got 5. Death Certificate got 4.5. Predator got no rating. Yeah. Lethal Injection got 3.5, and Bow Down got 4.5.
Yeah, Mike, you in trouble.
Sounds like I'm in trouble, huh? Okay.
No, you in trouble.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, man.
How many times are you gonna play March Madness?
I'm only gonna play March Madness once.
Yeah, you in trouble.
So y'all think Drake got it like that, huh?
I'm interested to see what you're gonna play.
Well, I got my notebook right here. But yes, that's gonna be at 10 o'clock. And also, you and I, when are we doing this? When are we doing this Death Row and Wu-Tang?
I mean, if you want to get a little back-to-back station head going for recording the hip hop, Mike, we can go Friday. We can do a show for about 2 hours and then transition to station head.
All right, so you want to do the Wu-Tang and Death Row next Friday?
I'm fascinated by just about the sounds.
Oh yeah. I got to get my list and all that together for that. Okay, we're doing that next Friday.
Sounds good.
And we're doing the station head this weekend. We're going to be doing some promo for that. We'll send the links out there. But I think that's pretty much it, man. I know we was going to talk disc records and shit, but we can do that Friday. I know the game's on right now, and I can see that people are dropping off.
It's game time. Yeah.
It's game time. We got to go see the game. All of us got to go see the game.
I'm about the same iPad, about to hook it up in the car. Big screen in the whip. Big screen in the whip with the iPad.
So you got Denver.
Got Denver. I think this series going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Game 7.
Yep. Game 7, Denver.
Game 7, Denver. I got Miami in 6.
But you want to know what? There is a part of me. I just love a great story. If this Miami team wins this championship,
it's game changer for the NBA.
It is, but also too, you want to know what? It takes Jokic down a notch too, because he's ascending right now. And
I'm okay with that.
Rapidly. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
To quote Gangstar's album, it's hard to earn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to perform. Yeah. All right, we're going to holler at y'all Friday. Great show. Once again, in the studio. Expect this every Wednesday.
Yep.
We out. And boom.